talking about? I've done 2 shows back to back.
Okay, I'm so sorry. I'm a horrible boss. I wasn't paying attention.
Man,
Forgive me.
I like how you started slow with that shit. Well, me and Ali spent more time this week. We should get extra pay.
We should.
I am so. Hey, I'm apologizing. I am sorry, but people, yes, it is a midnight chat attack. You've heard the song, you've heard the music, you have seen the intro. We are here yet again. And Ali, I know you're mad at me. Ganj, I know you're mad at me. You guys did stuff and I wasn't here, and I apologize for that. But the thing is,
hey, broke black man, if you missed us, you missed out because we did a bunch of video game playthroughs on the Facebook page, man. You gotta check that shit out. You wouldn't be missing us.
Yeah, man, he's saying, yes, I miss you, mofos. Yes, dude, I miss you too. He's saying biggest L goes to the MCA. Oh, wait, why is that? Why did we get... What,
did you forget our best of list?
Wait, no, but the biggest L? Like, why? What's our best of list?
The fact that you asked that question means that we deserve it.
Man, they're still salty. I'm sorry, y'all, but, like... we'll talk about that because one of the movies that I know Double Toasted loves a lot. We're gonna be talking about that tonight. So
I want to bring up a point about that because everyone still shits on our list. Like that's the most comments I get now, besides our hate of the Black Panther trailer and our okay opinion about Moonlight. But like one thing we got to actually talk about Grits because we watched the Golden Globes with me and Ali. And one thing we were telling him about our list and explain how the rules went. One, he understood what you were going for, Nick, and 2, he approved. Because guess what? He actually enjoyed King Kong. He want to say best movie of the year, but he enjoyed it, and he gets why we put it on #1. So Grits approves, y'all.
Yeah, no, and well, I don't want to put that out there either, because Grits is probably just being nice to you. But
let's not take it to that point. All right, he didn't say that he approved of #1.
Exactly.
Allie, I'm trying to dig myself out this hole with the audience. Help me, don't.
No, just. Keep digging.
The one thing is, I want to say this real quick too, is like one thing that I really appreciate about our list for the most part is the fact that sometimes a movie that not all of us think it's the greatest film of the year or whatever, sometimes just being average is the best. Because a movie like Call Me by Your Name, on many people's lists, that was #1, but I mean, it's only for a certain audience that thinks it's #1. Allie, you really like that movie. It was like your #4, right? Or something like
Nambla definitely made it movie of the year.
Yeah, but that's the thing that really bothers me. But like with something like Kong Skull Island, everybody thinks it's pretty fun and okay, but it's like everybody feels that way, and that's why that was #1 because in majority vote, it was a great fucking movie. And I think that everybody in the world can basically, anyone who watched us can agree that it should have been somewhere in the top 10. Not #1, but somewhere in the top 10. But isn't that #1 essentially? Is that it's no matter what, no matter who watches it, it's a great fucking movie because it's action, comedy, and all that shit. Anyways, people forget that shit. Forget the top 10 thing, whatever the fuck. Like, I'm gonna move on from that
Man,
shit.
you were trying to explain harder than I did. I just try to use like Grits as like a, provable point or as a witness.
I actually just feel bad about it.
You just went and rambled and just made it sound way worse. Like, I was stopped digging the hole. Allie was like, all right, give me your shovel. I was like, here. And I just watched you kept going and going and going.
Not the video game thing. People know Cuphead's one of those games I was just playing.
Oh, Jesus
I'm not
Christ,
gonna
no.
get into all that shit. And that's the thing, people. We are going to have a long talk about Nintendo Direct, Mini, and the announcement it has today. We'll get into that a little bit, too. But the thing is, though, we are missing one guy, and that is Alan. So, since Alan's not here, I'm going to ask you really quick, Ganja, do we have anything on the itinerary tonight in the after hours, man?
Actually, not really. We're going to actually be doing just a regular after hours. We're going to hang out in the rabbit, shoot the shit. If, like I said to Kilgore inside the DT chat, if you want to watch a movie, just let us know, and we'll actually, make a decision on and have a vote about it. But most of the time, we just, watch music videos, stupid videos that are, 5-15 minutes long, or someone just shows us something they always want to show us. Like, I'm pretty sure that I'm going to play some of that Sonic Knuckles shit for you guys, because I love the fuck out that movie.
God, dude.
I believe it should be shared with everyone.
Oh, no, I hated that shit quite a bit, and I mean, we'll talk about that later on today. I'm so frustrated you're going to have to fucking discuss this stupid meme.
No, but yeah, so to keep going with the idea, yeah, we guys don't have an after hours plan. It's just going to be free for all. So just come in and hang out. Like we usually, we're going to drop the link inside the DT chat or on the YouTube chat. Well, not the YouTube chat, inside the YouTube comment section. I've been slipping on that because it waits for it to upload. So as soon as it uploads, I'm going to make sure to be more on top of that so you guys get into the after hours and hang out with us.
Oh, yes, and people, the whole thing we do with the show, the Attack the Chat thing, it's not just a slogan anymore. It used to be just a slogan because, we didn't really have... I don't know why it was a slogan. It was actually just stupid to just do that for no reason. But now there's actually a reason, people. I want you to attack the chat, okay? Right now I have it on YouTube chat because the YouTube chat, even before you started, was just whooping ass. And I know the DT chat's a little bit tired because they were doing the high score and everything. But, yo, you guys got to bring it tonight, man. I mean, the YouTube chat's whooping ass. So I know Grits... Oh, and they're posting the thing of Grits because you keep calling him Grits. His name's Gertz, goddammit.
Hey, man, I don't give a damn. His name is Grits to me. It'll always be Grits. I learned his name when I was drunk with him when I first met him in 2016. Y'all can't change that shit. This has been a friendship longer than y'all realize.
Oh my goodness gracious!
I have been friends with him, Grits, pancakes, and bacon for a long time.
Oh my goodness, dude. Yeah, I think a lot of people have as well because it's a fucking food, you moron. But anyways, it doesn't matter. It's all good because ganja actually makes sense with that statement, and I never make sense with any of my fucking statements. But here's the thing, though, man. On top of the whole people getting into the after hours and things like that, there are rules that you have to follow in there, and I'll tell you what those rules are right now really quick. When you get into the call, usually what happens is Ganja or Alan will actually have the power, the remote control, and they'll hand it to another person. If you guys want to get the controller in the Rabbit and post something, you know, get a link to your video, have that shit set up ahead of time, and if we are watching a movie or something like that, make sure to be quiet. You don't want to ruin the, you know, enjoyment of the movie for everybody else in the Rabbit. So yeah, man, make sure to look in the YouTube comment section, like Ganja told you earlier. Make sure to look in the Double Toasted chat room, and then if you still don't got the link from somewhere, whatever the fuck, just hit us up on Facebook or personal Facebooks. You know where I'm at. Find me, motherfucker. But here's the thing, though, Ganja, people have to come into the call as well. You know, sometimes we have people coming in. So why don't you tell them what the rules are if they do get inside the call?
All right, guys, like pretty much usually I've been doing this for almost 2 years now. Man, I'm about a veteran with these rules. For example, guys, rule number 1, newcomers join the call first. We're all about those new, fresh smelling faces. I've been saying this forever, so you guys should know this by top of your head by now. But if you just in case it's your first time, we like those new people, like I said. If you haven't been on here a while, or you popping on for the first time, hit me, Allie, or Nick inside of our PM boxes on the Double Toasted chat room, or as well inside our Facebooks. Now, if you have a hard time figuring out, just check out our main page and click on the links above. Rule number 2, do not talk over each other. Especially when you got bad scat. Like, you're just not the 20s anymore, Nick. I don't know why you're doing that. And plus, there was no bass and no funk there, so I don't approve it. So, if you guys want to do shit like that, please keep it to yourself. And just keep in mind, people want to watch the show, and they want better audio quality when they watch it. Rule number 3, please no nudity, folks. This one's kind of a standard with YouTube, and it's becoming more of a biblical rule when as YouTube gets along with the whole Logan Paul shit. Pretty sure we're going to add no suicide to the list because, you know, that's how YouTube rolls now. So keep the titty inside your shirt, y'all. If not, that'll get us kicked off YouTube, and we don't appreciate that. Rule number 4, do not give anyone else the link. We have a planned show that clues on for certain topics, subjects, or certain conversations. So if you're handing out the link, your ass is gone, and so is the person that clicked it. Rule number 5, read the rules, and Allie, girl, I hope your mother isn't there.
Don't be a mean person.
Oh, she's right next to her. God damn, you said that really nice.
But Black man, if you want to rap the rules, I give you 100% approval, but it's got to sound like something Will Smith would make in the 90s.
Oh God, no! Don't do it. I don't want to be here when you do that. Jesus Christ! But no,
I want to be here. I want to take photos.
Sky Gonzalez is over here in the chat too. He said that what you call it? Call Me by Your Name got the pedo vote. Yes, it did. The pedophile vote. I'm sorry, girl, but God damn it, that fucking movie. Oh, all Jesus Christ.
Allie, I would have see this thing. Me and Jet, we talked about this movie last night after we just bullshit over the video game show. And our thing is like, because apparently she saw the movie and she agrees with me with a certain point, but we disagree on how it went. Like, the thing is we talked about was like, you like the movie because you see it as a relationship story. Our problem with it, we see him as kind of grooming the guy. You don't get that at all with this movie.
Yeah.
What do you mean grooming the guy?
Like, for example, like he kind of targets this kid because he's kind of one of those loners, and he knows the kid's kind of one of those like too smart for his crowd kind of kids, and he takes that advantage as a professor to kind of be like, hey, I can teach you secret knowledges that you don't know, including what these 2 fingers can do.
No, first off, he wasn't a professor. He was a student.
I thought he was a professor.
No, he's a student because Timothy Chalamet, or the younger guy, his father is a professor. Okay. And he is studying abroad for several weeks over at their Italian Vista, and he's, you know, learning the history or something like that for whatever his graduate program. So, first of all, yeah, student. Second of all, he didn't go after him. It was really something of like, it's the same thing with banter of when people like are kind of into each other, but they don't know if they're into each other. So they're just kind of like feeling out like, you know, like flirty thing here and there, but not something so on the nose.
Right.
Because you just don't want to get rejected. So they're just kind of like, both of them are equally doing that back to back. It's not like something that Armie Hammer is just the sole person like, hey, how you doing? Or trying to rub up against him or anything. It's not like that at all. It was a mutual understanding. And it's really the younger Elio, that's his name in the movie. It's Elio is the one that really kind of initiates it. And he's like, yeah, I totally have a thing for you. And he's like, oh, well, he's the one, Armie Hammer is actually the one who stops it. He's like, hey, let's not make this go any further. Let's not do something that, you know, we'll regret or something like that. So he's the one that actually avoids him. And Elio's the one's like, hey, like, I want this. And so that's when they have that relationship.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, from the way, like, if you kind of look at it, like, the way he kind of approaches the kid, a lot of it is in, like, situation where the kid's kind of by himself, and it kind of has that predatory vibe when it comes to him reacting and talking to the kid. That's the way I got it as well. And I think a lot of people are forgetting that there's an age and experience power dynamic that a lot of people don't talk about, that the older dude is more experienced and he's more mature. So the way I see it, as he's kind of grooming him to this direction by kind of just flirting with him a little bit, but pulling back, making him feel like he wants it, but it's actually just the curiosity of the kid exploring his own feelings. Well, and the thing is, like, I kind of put the responsibility on the adult. Like, I know that that's not what the story is about, but I feel like he kind of did the bullshit resistance that you get, like, in movies where they want to have the guy be redeemable, but he still cheats on the next significant other. Whereas, like, I'm resistant. Let me fuck shit out of you. Like, it wasn't like this long resistance. It was like, okay, I got to get away from you and disappear. But as soon as the kid shows up and shows that there's this really kind of weird attraction going on between him and the kid, he doesn't really put a full stop on it. He takes advantage after that while, because the kid is separated from his house. And a lot of this was kind of described to me by Jet as she saw it. And I kind of agree with that point of view, because the kid, when he develops his further relationship with the guy, it's more separated from the family and his what you call, like, his usual experiences. So it was him trying to taking him out to the new and try to get him to explore stuff. So I feel like it was him kind of just, like, I guess, not preying on him, but just trying to move him into that direction.
It wasn't, I don't think it was ever, like, moving into that direction. Like, he always, I mean, it's at a time in the early 80s where, homosexuality wasn't.
It was more taboo at the time, yeah.
Yeah, it was taboo. It was taboos, right? During, like, the beginning of the AIDS epidemic. So, yeah. And also, you got to remember, like, Armie Hammer, he does come from America. So, America, it's extremely taboo over there. Italy's probably, I feel like there is.
No, they're worst.
Yeah, no.
At that time, they were worst. At that time, they were worst.
Yeah, well, yeah. So, exactly. So, of course, they would feel the need to kind of hide it from their family, or his family, and all of that, not knowing that, of course, they would be really
but you say that, but, like, there's scenes in the movie where they're walking through the Roman streets, like, just being really chummy with each other that looks like a couple. Like, there is never, like, a time where it doesn't feel like they're a couple on screen when they're going through the public. Like, there's never a backlash from, like, society around them. And that's kind of what I felt like there was no, like, clash with the subject. It was more like just this constant approval throughout the film, to the point that you get the dad, which just gives off this monologue, which is, like, basically, an older man having this relationship with a younger boy is the most magical thing you could possibly do. And
I didn't read it as that at all. It was more of, first off, back then, like, hey, two guys hanging out, like, people aren't really going to think of it like that. And either way, we've seen tons of movies about gay couples where they've had to have an obstacle, like a physical barrier that's like, hey, you guys can't be together because of this. Sometimes life is just not like that for some couples. Like, sometimes people are just really accepting.
Yeah, I get that,
and you don't see that side of people's lives very often. And then also with the father, saying that monologue at the end, it was more towards, like, being yourself and just accepting who you are and not letting whatever hurt or whatever just, like, eat you inside. And it's okay to let it out. Like, don't bottle it up, because it'll end up harming you in the end. It was more about that than it was about, like, oh yeah, it's okay, you're with a freaking 24-year-old. It wasn't really about that. It was about him being himself, because his father turned out that he was secretly gay, but it was just in the time. Yeah, no, yeah. But, well, that's what I got, at least. But, because the son asked, like, does mom know? And he said no.
Yeah. And that's the thing, like, I get that, but I think that explanation always kind of throws out the idea that there's a huge age and a power dynamic here between the kid being a 17-year-old inexperienced or high schooler, and the Armie Hammer being a 25-year-old late uni student coming from Italy. Like, I feel like that power dynamic's not being explored as much as the same.
Yeah, and I'm going to have Alec get the last word on this, actually. Yeah, like, go ahead. But let her have the last one.
He's practically an adult. It's not like he's 15 years old. He's 17, probably going to turn 18. Like, it's not like he's in the first year of high school. Like, he's about to go off to college. So, and also in Italy, or just in Europe in general, it's not really that big of a deal of having age gaps like it is in America. So they just see it. They don't really see it as much of a problem. But yeah, I honestly, I didn't really I thought it was gonna bother me with the age thing. There have been other movies that I've seen. I'm like, yo, this is really freaking weird. Like, what's up with this? But
Every
here, it
what you
felt,
call it? What's his name? I can't believe I'm blanking on the dude's name. The one that everyone gets mad at when they clap for him in the movie awards.
Oh, Roman Polanski and his whole fucking
Yeah, that dude, like a Roman Polanski film.
Yeah.
yeah. No, for me at least, the relationship felt genuine. It felt natural to me. And it just, that's just me personally. I just felt like they had already a connection, and it was obvious that Timothée Chalamet's character is a lot more mature than a lot of, you know, other people. So it's like he's very much into his music. He's very much into whatever, you know, he was always writing down his work. So it's not like he was just like, hey, whatever. Like, yay, kid. No, he just kind of, it was kind of
Hey, kid. All right, some fresh meat.
I'm a kid. Like, he wasn't really all about partying like other people were. You know, he was kind of past that. So he was,
I get it.
Like something unique. He was someone unique compared to the other people his age. That happens sometimes. Someone's just more mature beyond their age. I've been told that. I'm kind of like an old soul and a young person.
How many 50-year-old dudes hit on you that are college
actually at my job? I have it's weird. No, but yeah, it wasn't something like an older guy just coming on to this kid right off the bat. It was just something first. They got to know each other. He didn't care for him at first, and he was like, man, this guy is so like freaking arrogant and all of that. Funny enough, both of them are kind of the same character. And I never, like, Timothée Chalamet, he's kind of a heartbreaker himself. Like, he's probably had a lot of relationships. Like, he's not really that innocent either. So both of them are they both come from a similar place. So when you find out actually later that they're both extremely vulnerable, it's in this vulnerable spot, it's actually more emotional in the story and their relationship.
I kind of want to bring up what they're saying in the YouTube chat because Sky and Rufus bring up a good point, but I'm bringing up Sky's because it's more of a statement rather than a long topic. But he says it doesn't matter what I thought when I was 17. I was 17. I was still growing up. And I kind of agree with that predicament a lot. You can be somewhat older for your age or old, so I've been told that, but it still doesn't matter that you're an inexperienced child, that you have somewhat of an idea what it's like to be an adult. But until you experience these things, actually go through the experience and deal with what it's like to, you know, kind of be heavily flirted with and kind of being pushed into a sexual direction, you don't understand what that's like. And I guess that's what a lot of people are having a problem with this, because at 17, you really don't have a grasp of that yet, because you can still get you can still get flirted by for like most basic stuff. And the thing is, Ruthless brings up a good point. I Love You Daddy recently came out with Louis C.K.
Yes.
And it touches on the same subject, but in reverse, where it's a 16-year-old girl that thinks she's older and wiser in her age and has a relationship with Louis C.K. And it goes touching on that. So my thing is, I would kind of be uncomfortable with both films. But how would you feel if the power dynamic was switched more, where it was an older male kind of using his experience and his knowledge of, like, you know, being older and picking out the girl that's more of a loner, that's not really feels like she bonds with her group, and kind of just heavy flirting with her and trying to have a relationship with her?
So you're telling me that a 6-year-old?
16-year-old.
16. See, yeah 16, that's just, yeah. I will say that
that's just, yeah.
Yeah, like 16 though.
Honestly, Ali, let's be honest. There's no difference between 16 and 17 when you hang out with those high schoolers.
Yeah, it is weird. I will say that. I'm not saying that it's like I condone how young he is. I see, at least from the movie's point of view, it didn't feel as awkward and weird as I thought it would be. Right. It felt more natural. I will give it that. But yeah, I don't agree. I don't agree with like the age gap, but I'm just trying to go from what the movie was trying to portray. But yeah, in both situations, it's definitely not cool. I will just say that. But I'm just saying it, like, just from the point of view of the movie. If they can do it in a way, sure. That makes sense, sure.
But I do have a question about this, though, because, I mean, since we're talking about this movie, and since this movie is going to get so much fucking love in the Academy Awards and everything that we're going to be watching in about, 2-3 weeks, something like that.
Yeah, like, shit, they were already talking about it at the Golden Globes. I was hoping the movie failed the whole time, so I was getting mad at me.
Yeah, but, like, this is already going to be the case happening and everything, and it's like, you know, with that being the case, do you feel like now Hollywood's kind of like, listen, y'all, like, we're trying to fight off all these fucking preverts. We're really trying our hardest. And yes, I said preverts, even though I meant to say perverts, but it doesn't matter. But it's like, Hollywood's probably getting tired because, once again, dude, they just gave this motherfucker an award. James Franco, they just gave an award for Disaster Artist in the Golden Globes. And it's like, at a certain point now, dude, can you continue, like, just pretend like Hollywood's a person, right? You can only hold so much weight on your fucking chest and push it off. And I think at a certain point now, they're going to be like, listen, y'all, Call Me by Your Name is a movie about damn near pedophilia, but it's situational, and it's James Franco thing, especially because this particular article that I pulled up right now is actually him disputing the sexual misconduct allegations, even though before he admitted to the 17-year-old girl that he was talking to, right? Didn't he admit to that? I could have sworn he did. Anyways.
No, he admits to flirting with her.
He admitted something like where he was having like a private messaging like thing with this like younger girl a while ago, and it kind of just got swept under the rug.
Yeah, and you know, with the situation here too, like, I mean, this dude's talking about, I mean, I don't actually know exactly what he said. I just know that he was disputing it because I barely just looked it up right before the show. And I wasn't for sure going to talk about this because it's like, dude, there's so much shit that happens. I mean, now there's some Stan Lee stuff coming out now too, and I don't know if that's going to be true or not. And, you know, it's like everyone's like, oh, wait, hold on, not Stan Lee. I mean, that's our Stan Lee. We like him still. He's still relevant. We can't talk shit about him, and the fans are doing it. The fans are doing that because they love Marvel so fucking much and they love the comic book so much. And I'm thinking, like, okay, if the fans can do this for Stan Lee, you know they're gonna end up doing this shit, or Hollywood's gonna do this shit for James Franco and movies like Call Me by Your Name. At this point, it's like, are we still gonna continue punishing these sexual allegations?
Patrick Gritz brought up the best from the high score when we were watching the Golden Globes together. He said that I forget the actor's name, but I think his name Douglas something. He was the old dude that was like in his 90s. Kirk Douglas, who was like in his 90s. Apparently, when you really get down to his story, he was like a sexual deviant and one of those kind of people that were harassed the female actresses in certain ways like that. So while they're doing this Me Too movement and all this stuff, they literally got an old decrepit pedophile that. Or not pedophile, but a prevert, as you would put it. Just, he can't do nothing, so he's just hanging out there, and everyone's just forgetting about what he's done because of his movie accolades. But, you know, what can you do? That was all Hollywood. Like, if you're going to hang people for that shit, like, you're going to have to hang people that are, like, started the movie industry from, like, 88 downwards at that point.
Yeah, and, you know, even Julian's in the chat, he said something about how, I mean, like I said, I'm just responding
I would love to believe that, Julian, but the problem is, that's like saying, oh, Michael Jackson did those allegations for marketing for his next album. Yeah, sure, but there's multiple allegations. I highly doubt this is all still for marketing.
No, exactly. Like, that's the thing. Like, I mean, he's saying the old allegations. He's trying to correct us, which he's trying to help. You know, I'll give Julian that. You know, but the thing is like I haven't heard that from anybody else that discusses this because I mean, dude, I tried to stay away from this shit, but it's like Collider, Screen Rant, Variety, everyone wants to talk about it, and no one's bringing up that shit because it's so just like it's like that time when Joaquin Phoenix went on to the David Letterman show, and he was all doped up. And he's like, oh, no, it was for a character, man. I was trying to be into character. And I'm like, you were fucking nodding off. Like, no, dude, you're a fucking druggie. Like, stop trying to say that you're doing this because of a character or a movie you're doing or whatever the fuck. So, just like Joaquin Phoenix, I wouldn't put it past James Franco and who he is that he'd actually be trying to hook up with a 17-year-old.
Well, that's not one of those things that have come around Hollywood. Like, I've heard jokes about that James Franco loves jailbait. So like it's one of those things that have gone around. Like if you just listen to podcasts from actors and comedians that hang around these people, they'll drop dimes. Like how many times have you heard stuff from like the Comedy Store podcast, Nick, that you shouldn't have probably heard just because someone got a little boozed up on the podcast and just fuck it.
Yeah, or you know, someone gets them relaxed and chilled out, like Joe Rogan or somebody, and is like,
Red Robot King, I did not molest you. We had a nice young and adult man relationship. It was something beautiful. It was not anything nasty that the Catholic Church would not approve of, sir.
Oh my goodness, man! But it was only molestation. It's not as bad, you know, as long as you didn't do the actual.
You had young boy love, all right. That's what
rubbing
that was.
On the outside. Actually, no, just like Call Me by Your Name, he was into you, so it's okay.
I tried to shut it down, but he followed me to Denver, Alley. What can I do?
You know, I give up. Shoot, I feel it's bad. Like, I still like the movie. I'm not gonna lie, but yeah, it's bad. Like, what am I to say? Age cap apparently is just terrible.
At this point, Allie, I'm just fucking with you because, like you already said, you like the movie, so I'm not changing your opinion at this point. This is kind of like the incest thing. It's just gonna be a running joke for a little while. Just bear with us.
Yeah, no, but that's the thing.
I read between the lines. I didn't think of like the surface, like oh my god, age stuff. Huh? Oh, shut up.
No, but I mean, one thing I will say though, man, like my big thing, I didn't give a like the pedophile shit. I'm used to that with Hollywood. American Beauty is a movie that got 4.5 stars. People love American Beauty. All the fucking Handmaiden's another one. Oh, we love Handmaiden. I don't care about that shit. The thing that bugged me is that not the character being sexually assaulted or taken advantage of. I was being taken advantage of. I'm a man watching your fucking movie, and it was so boring. And like that's the shit that always bothers me about it. And kind of that anger kind of comes into this other thing they're about to talk about too. the video game thing, the Nintendo Direct Mini. Let me just ask you really quick. I'm going to give you, before we even get to start, because I know you didn't watch the entire thing with me, etc. I mean, it was only like a 10-minute video or something like that. But, Ganja, do you feel like Nintendo's taking advantage of people currently right now or not?
Man, I want to talk shit. I want to talk so much shit, bro. I want to just bash Nintendo with the logo, everything. I fucking hate Nintendo with all the fiber of my being. But even Grits pointed out to me, out of all the console games that have come out, all the games that have come out on the PC, let's be honest, Nintendo's the only one that's fucking delivering now.
Yeah, they really are.
They're the only ones that are delivering games they promise that are real games that work, and they're just not trying to sell you DLC package or fucking loot crates at this point.
No, it's true. They really are the only ones. I mean, and here's the thing, man. Like for me, most of these games I don't even know about. Like I'm about to go through the whole list of them and everything, but I don't know much about these video games. And I'm just like I'm sold already because it's like I just know that you guys are gonna deliver some good shit. You know what I mean? Like it's finally gonna fucking happen. And by the way, I'm looking in the chat too. Allie's still like, listen, it's not for everybody. If you guys don't watch it, like, if you guys watch Call Me by Your Name and you don't like it, it's not my fucking fault. So just leave it the fuck alone.
Yeah, like some people like them or like not really much of a plot driven stuff, and some people like more of a more, I guess, like constructed storyline. Hey, shoot, I like it. Okay, dang
Hey,
it.
I voted Kong number one.
I love it.
Year,
I love
so
Call Me
my
by Your
opinion's
Name.
best.
It's gonna be like one of my favorite romance movies. I don't freaking care. Shoot, let me be me.
Let her be her, y'all. No, but yeah, man, like there's this fucking video game though that I want to bring up. It's just first off on the docket with Nintendo because, like I said, because of me just being into what they're selling me not knowing anything about it. There's this game called The World Ends With You. I guess it's like a final remix type game or whatever the fuck. I don't know what the fuck it's about. But basically, man, like the game is looking good. You know, I dig it. But the thing is, too, is like, and this is the thing that happens throughout this entire list that we're about to bring up, is the fact that it's a remake. The remix part, the remaster, the redo, reread that. And I'm like, I'm so sick of that shit with video games. Like
The reboot and shit? What the fuck? How far are you going to try to remake this shit?
No, well, like, the biggest thing is, too, is, like, it's just like that, like, I mean, I always bring this example up with Resident Evil 4 stuff. I'm so sick of them redoing shit and just, like, I mean, this is Nintendo Switch. I mean, this is supposed to be, like, in console war type with PS4 and Xbox. So why the fuck are we still, you know, why are we still doing this? Like, and I keep calling this shit the port box because that's all it's doing. Same with Skyrim and the amiibo support and all that bullshit. I mean, it's really starting to get on my fucking nerves.
Well, it's the only really way to actually sell a lot of the game consoles now because porting is the best way to have it to a general market. So most people got a chance to play the games. Like that's was a lot of people's favorite thing about the previous console generation was a lot of the games weren't exclusive anymore. But now that they're trying to sell a lot of these consoles again, they're going back to that method. And a lot of people are like, oh, well, I'm going to have to choose between this console and this console. And a lot of people are either going with the PS4 or, you know, the Switches or the other Nintendo products because they seem like the only ones that are delivering on what they promised. Like Xbox kind of pushed back a lot of their bigger titles. And I don't know anybody that's really bringing up any Xbox games that are coming out this year or possibly next year that are going to be big for you to buy at the moment. So,
yeah. No, it's really odd, dude. Like I don't know why people are doing this with the remakes, especially Nintendo, because Nintendo actually does some new cool ass shit. I actually like what they bring to the table sometimes. But this fucking game though, man, I'm trying to show some gameplay really quick. I'm trying to actually get to it because this shit reminds me of something much like those beat 'em up games. And yeah, I can't find the gameplay. That sucks. But the world ends with you though, and you guys have probably seen it before. And it reminds me of this, and I'm going to show it up really quick, too. It reminds me of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Turtles in Time. I actually really dig that type of style. Let me see really quick. Yeah, it definitely reminds me of this, a new school style version of this. And the thing is, when it comes to these beat-em-up games, I feel like there's so many of them. I mean, the last one I actually gave a shit about was Ruby. But, like, do you care about beat-em-up games, really? I mean, like...
No, not really. Like, the last one I played was Brawlhalla with you guys because a lot of those beat-up games are kind of the same repetitive gameplay, and unless you get through all the levels and have, like, friends that are really dedicated to it, it kind of tune out after a while because they're not really much there except for, like, maybe a new DLC comes out. But as far as I'm concerned, like, I'll play them if they're fun or I got some friends that play it. But as far as I'm concerned, I'm never really the first one to jump on those type of games.
Yeah, man, and here we go. I finally found hopefully found some fucking gameplay, god damn it. And still nothing. See, now here's another problem with these fucking video games. Look at what is happening on screen right now. Look at that shit. I'm going to actually show the entire page really quick. That's the gameplay right in the middle there.
All right, see, that's the thing. They're trying to make this new gameplay thing where it blends with the art style. I've seen it happen a lot now with like Persona 4, I think it's called. This seems like the biggest thing that they're trying to go for is try to make animation and gameplay blend as one thing. And I really don't have a problem with it if it's seamless, but this kind of just feels a little just jarring.
Yeah, and there you go. Now you got some gameplay, finally, folks. But yeah, man, like that's the shit that really bothers me is that it's style over substance. I'm gonna bring this up a lot during our talk tonight, but like it's just like Cuphead. You know what I mean? Like stop with this shit. Or River City Ransom. You remember River City Ransom back in the day?
Yeah, I remember that. It was kind of like a basic just bait 'em up. Man, I just love it because if you actually look at Riverside game, I can't forget the rest of the title, but it was actually copied by a lot of other fucking games that came later. Like, I'm more than sure the Teenage Ninja Turtle fucking arcade game was inspired by that directly.
Yeah, man. No, and that's the thing. I don't know. It gets on my fucking nerves. But one other thing I want to bring up really quick, too, is this new Pokemon tournament battle pack apparently they're going to have. This shit actually looks pretty fucking cool, man. And if you guys don't know anything about Poké Tournament, and I'm actually kind of curious if you know about this a lot or even played it, because I haven't played any of Poké Tournament. But like, you know, this is not the trailer, by the way, too. I'm having some issues on my side over the fucking Nintendo side because, of course, I got the worst luck in the goddamn world.
Right.
But like, you know, Pokemon brawling type, Super Smash Brothers type. Do you give a shit about Pokemon Tournament or Poké Tournament?
Oh, dude, honestly, I haven't cared about these Pokemon products for a while now, since I think Generation 1 and 2. But the thing is, like, I like the idea of it because it gives you final control over the Pokemon, and it's not you just looking at a 30-person character following the orders that you command, and it actually makes you feel like you're in the battle. But to me, it just feels more like an advanced version of Pokemon Stadium, which I was a huge fucking fan of.
Oh,
but the thing is, the studio had more around it. Like, you do mini games, you could actually explore. You actually could play your, I think, Pokemon Yellow or Red inside of it if you got the attachment for it.
Oh,
so
yeah,
it actually gave you more to it, where it seems like this is just like, okay, we're going to do Tekken with Pokemon characters. And I was hoping there'd be a little more strategy to it. Like, oh, if you use the water type against the fire type, it actually makes a difference to the hit points that you deliver. And make it more of a tactical game. Like, you got these graphics, you got these machines that can process so much of these data now. They can just push these Pokemon games to the nth degree and almost make them like these Dragon Ball Z game. And they kind of don't do it, and it's kind of disappointing. And I think that would attract a lot of people that are old fans of the series, especially if they add a lot of the old levels and old kind of series to get people like that nostalgia play like me, and a lot of the new stadiums and new characters, to the point that it attracts new people as well. But the thing is, it just seems like a Tekken ripoff the way if I've seen the trailers and the kind of the gameplay as itself.
Yeah, and what do you feel about them releasing this in waves? I mean, do you like when games do that, when they basically, like, they say, like, we have a bunch of gameplay for you, a bunch of content that we're going to release in DLC, but we're going to release this in many different parts. So
only if they don't charge me. Only if they don't charge me. Now, if they're charging me for these different waves and I paid for the base game already and it's over $30, nah, fuck that shit. You're just trying to get more money out of me for characters that you already developed before the game came out.
Yeah, and I'm looking over here in the DT chat. Aaron's saying he loves beat 'em ups. I love beat 'em ups as well, man. I mean, beat 'em ups.
He likes to beat 'em up.
Ah, you stupid dummy. No, man, I really like beat 'em up games, especially Turtles in Time. I brought that up earlier too. There's a few games I really like from beat 'em up gameplay style. But the thing is nowadays I just don't feel like the hit detection is there, and I know, the more graphics you can put into something like that, it looks cool. I mean, you brought a Brawlhalla Master earlier, and I don't know if that really counts as a beat 'em up. That's like a melee.
Well, it is. It's kind of like that Smash mix of a beat 'em up, because the whole point is just to fight as many of your friends as possible, and it's not really that technical. Whereas Smash is a little more technical. You got to find different moves. You got to have different characters have different subsets that fight the other character, not subsets, but different sets that fight the other characters more perfectly. Whereas Brawlhalla is just literally run into the middle of the screen and just hit as many people as you possibly can.
Yeah, no, I mean, like I said, I don't know what to think about that, but one thing that I'm actually kind of excited for, because this character, and I talked to somebody today about this, and they were like, yeah, I don't remember ever being a bad Kirby game. But yeah, Kirby. What's it called? I'm looking at it right here too. Star Allies. It's like literally at the top of the fucking screen. But this game, man, the one thing I actually like about this is basically there's a Julian mod, or a Julian character, where Kirby uses a paintbrush and an easel. Like, he uses art. It's just an art thing. Like, I don't know, it's a coolest fucking thing. And I mean, first off, me just saying that, like, what do you feel about the idea of it? Because it's projectiles.
Alright, I was never a fan of Kirby, to be honest with you, bro. The problem with Kirby, yeah, I always thought it was too cutesy. This is my problem with Nintendo in general. It was too cutesy, and I felt like I was watching like a color, like a little bit of a gumball running around. Pink colored gumball. And the thing is, like, I never really felt bonded with Kirby. He just felt so kind of Japanesey in my sense. Like it seems like something that a lot of people will enjoy. But until they added him into Smash, I really didn't really care for Kirby. I remember playing the Kirby racing game with a bunch of my friends. Besides that, like I really wasn't a fan of the series. I had no interest in it, and I felt like it was just a Fat Boys Rayman.
A Fat Boys Rayman. That's kind of fucked up, actually. Really mean. But yeah, man. No, but I do like this shit though. I mean, basically, it has. I mean, you get to project the fuck out of enemies, which I love that, especially when you don't have to really eat them first. And I think it's actually a really cool little add-on for the video game. Like, it doesn't make a ton of sense why like this, and they have. You know, like these are all like little things, kind of like how Mario when he opens up a question mark box, and then you get like the Tanuki suit and the firepower thing and all that bullshit.
Right.
And like that's in the game. It just comes with the game. This you actually had to wait for this for the DLC. I think you had to buy these as well to use something to attack other people. So that kind of pisses me off in a sense, because like now you're actually taking gameplay elements and making that not even part of the fucking game in general. Like you knew that these things were already in the game. You know that it's already been programmed into the game. I just think it's ridiculous that very simple powers that Kirby has always had his entire life of being in video games, and now that's made DLC as well. I don't know how far that's gonna go, but it sucks that you don't like Kirby, man.
It's the effect with Nintendo. I really don't like all those cutesy kind of characters that are just like come from like those kind of like basic Japanese animation, where it's just like these little plastic character figurines that run around the screen and stuff. I was never a fan of that. I was a fan of Mario because I felt that was a little more grounded with me. Like it was still a human character, and I didn't feel like I was playing this space alien. So as a younger Ganja, I felt like I could put myself in that. But Kirby was one of those characters. Like I felt that way with a lot of games that kind of made me play creatures or monsters that I didn't feel like I was playing a human character.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's the thing too. I feel the same way to an extent, but then again, I go back to certain things like Crash Bandicoot and Spyro, and I'm like, you know what, dude? It really just depends on the abilities of the character. It really gets me into it, so I don't really care if it's like a furry or whatever the fuck the case may be. You know what I mean? One thing here too, man. Apparently, and I didn't know about this at all. I actually thought this was a DLC for fucking Breath of the Wild, but Hyrule Warriors, man. Now,
what the fuck is this?
Basically, okay, so you like Dynasty Warriors, right?
Not really. I played a few of the games, but I like the mechanics more than I actually like the actual game itself.
Yeah, because basically with Dynasty Warriors, it was a thing where basically it's like what For Honor wanted to do, but they fucked up on because Ubisoft fucking sucks. And basically, like, Dynasty Warriors has been going on for, I mean, since I was a little kid. I mean, the first one I played was Dynasty Warriors 4, and that was like in 2001. But basically, like, they've been doing these games where, a whole entire army gets in the same screen. Everything's happening all at once on screen. There's really no chug. There's really no lag in the video game playthrough. And you just attack everybody. And, you'll get a couple abilities and mana and shit like that, and you get to use it on people. Shit was cool. And now they're doing this with Hyrule Warriors, and this happened back in 2014, I believe. And now they're re-releasing this as well, the definitive edition, just like Tomb Raider, just like Uncharted, just like fucking Darksiders 2. I hate the fact that once again, I mean, this is like the third game in a row now that we're discussing something that's already been out. I mean, this is actually on Nintendo 3DS as well. This is on a few fucking consoles.
Well, that's the thing. Like the Nintendo DS, it's got a lot of original games that's coming out, but it seems like it's one of those games that have, like you explained, a port machine. But this is the thing. Like it's a kind of like a lot of people say, like it really runs the new games well to a certain extent. Like hell, they're gonna even have a Wolfenstein on there soon. But the thing is, from what I hear, it runs it well, but you tell the frame rates are lower to make for the game to work well, and for you to feel like you're not like just jarred when you're playing it and just having the frames drop well. So it's a lot easier to have a lot of these older games come onto the newer console than to constantly develop new games for it that are required to test the game power all the way.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing too. I'm looking at it here in the chat, and Julian was even saying like, yeah, he's going from 3DS to Switch, and that's my issue with it. Is like Switch is supposed to be an upgrade, and
man, speaking of bringing shit back for like a port, and I want them to bring back those fucking DS dogs. That was fun as fuck for me. You didn't like the DS dogs?
Fuck no, those are bad, dude. And I'm actually into Animal Crossing Pocket Camp right now, and those dog things were fucking terrible. And Allie, I'm gonna actually ask you really quick because I'm pretty sure that you've been into this. I don't know why. Tell me I'm an asshole for judging you ahead of time. Prejudice. You were into the dog stuff, right?
What do you mean the dog stuff?
The Nintendo DS stuff, like with those games with the dogs. You get the pet dog and you gotta feed it and pet it. And
oh yeah, I remember those games. I had a DS and I did get that game, but I only played it once, and I was like, this is so boring.
Okay, thank God. I'm actually really glad you said that because
I was like, what is the point?
Yeah, because
Nah,
basically,
yeah, I remember this, man. That's funny.
no, and these were taking like the video game industry by storm at the time. Like everyone was playing these fucking things, and man, even Julian, I knew it. Julian, you motherfucker, you. He's saying that yes, I love me some Nintendogs. That's terrible. Same. Raheem saying he doesn't like them. Very much. Thank you very much, Red Robot King. You're fucking awesome, Raheem. But yeah, man, the DS dogs. I can't stand this shit, dude. It's so bad. You know what I mean? But, like, the thing is, it is realistic. I mean, you talk about simulation games and things like that. Like, this is very, very realistic. It's just like, you know, why don't you just get a real fucking dog? Like, just get a real dog. What the fuck? It's more expensive, yes. But, I don't know, man. This is so bad. Look at that. It's not even doing anything. What's it doing? God, yeah, it's rough. I can't even watch that. That shit pisses me off.
It's adorable, but it just, like, lasting power is just not there.
Yeah, no, it really isn't. It really isn't at all. But the next thing I actually want to talk about, and this is actually very confusing to me why this even exists, but I'm going to pull it up on screen here, and bam, there it is. Yeah, Super Mario Tennis Aces. I didn't even know that this was a thing. It's probably another redo, whatever the fuck, but basically, you know, and by the way, too, it's saying it serves up a story mode. No, it's not really a story mode. And honestly, it's anything like any other Mario game where you move from one level to the other, just like Super Mario World, Super Mario Brothers 3, etc. You know, doing your thing. I really do feel like some games, though, especially Mario games, do not need to have a story. I think when you add a story to a Mario game, it's just kind of silly because what is there to do? Like, you know, follow your princess to another fucking castle and the whole thing. I can't stand that shit. You know, it's just like, I'm never going to relate to your character. I'm never going to relate to even like the Link chasing Zelda all over the fucking place. Like at a certain point, I don't care anymore. Like kill Ganon, get that shit over with. Has there ever been a Mario game or a Zelda game that you like the story really impacted you, Allie, at all, or not really?
Story for I'm sorry.
Just like the Zelda series or even fucking Mario, like. Both of those franchises, was there ever a story in any of those games that made you go like, you know what, I actually care about what happens to these characters? Or did you just play Mario just to jump on shit and, you know, fucking do your thing?
The only Mario game I can remember playing is Mario Kart. Like I feel like I played another Mario game, like the, you know, the side scroller. I can't remember which one it was. Oh, Super Mario Sunshine on the GameCube. I remember playing that. Yeah. But otherwise, like, I literally just played it to, like, you know, to do the fun stuff, like, oh, yay, like, let's, you know, hop on this stuff. Like, there wasn't really a story I was really expecting, and I've never played, what was the other one? Legend of Zelda. I've never played Legend of Zelda.
Wait, you never played any Legend of Zelda game?
No.
I think you've told me this before, too, but I'm just like, what the fuck?
Yeah. Like I said, I was really not that much into Nintendo. Like, okay, I had the Game Boys, but I tended to play third-party games. I didn't really get a lot of Nintendo-made games. Even on the GameCube, Mario was the only thing. Otherwise, okay, maybe I played Crash Bandicoot, and what's the other one with the fox? Or the dragon, I'm sorry.
Spyro the Dragon, yeah.
Yeah, like those are really the only ones I can think of that was made only for Nintendo that I played. Otherwise, like I was playing other stuff. So.
Yeah, and wait, what the fuck? I'm looking over here in the chat. Red Robot King saying Nick loves pussycats. Okay, that's interesting. He's saying everyone say fuck Nick and Shaq. He said he hates dogs. I do not hate dogs. I hate Nintendo.
Man, I went to use the restroom because Nintendo was angering my bladder, and I come back and you hating on dogs, the most lovable creatures ever made by God.
I was not hating on dogs. God damn it. But by the way, I'm a cat person. Though. I fucking love me some cats. And
man, I don't trust you.
You don't trust me?
I don't trust a person that has a cat.
Yeah, man, like a cat person doesn't even care if the animal loves them.
Oh, yes. By the way, too, you know, I like how a cat still wants to, like I had to earn my cat's love. You know what I mean? Like, you can feed it for 2 days.
They're so stuck up.
That's the thing, because cats are fucking amazing, and you need to earn their love. You know,
I want to feel the love from my freaking pet. I want my dog to come and be like, "Hey, I'm so happy you're home. Let's play."
Like right now, Allie looks at Harley. Harley's gonna turn back and just give her this love and look out of nowhere because that's how dogs are.
She's gonna get all excited, like, "Hey, yay! Like you're looking at me, cool." You know, and she's always trying to make sure I'm okay. Every 10 minutes and everything. Like, she's a really loyal dog, but a cat...
And I'll let you know right now, the cat will eat you as soon as you die.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because the cat's like, dude, okay, listen, love and all, that's great. But dog eat dog, cat eat cat. Like, I don't give a fuck. Like, I gotta do my thing.
The dog would love you. He'd bury you.
No, he won't. He doesn't have opposable thumbs. You can't fucking put the guy.
He'll find a way, just like Scooby finds a way to pick up stuff without opposable thumbs.
Dejan Watson, he's saying, yeah, I'm a cat person too, Nick. Nick looks cats, but he has no pussy. Oh, I didn't mean to say that out loud. I didn't have. God damn it! I was gonna ignore that shit.
That was a good one.
That motherfucker got my ass. Fucking asshole. Fucking man, fuck you. What's your name? Sky, you little bitch, whiskey wolf, motherfucker. No, but yeah, man. And as far as you saying like Spyro the Dragon, things like that, like yeah, I like those games as well. But it's weird for Mario Tennis to have some kind of story mode. I just don't think it's what the fuck was that noise? Fucking motorcycle. Anyways, but yeah, like I said though, man. It's just weird to have a story mode in tennis. I don't think it's necessary. But yeah, Ganja, since you're here, man, is there any Mario game or Zelda game, anything from Nintendo that had a story that you gave a shit about what happened to the characters, or not at all?
Fucking one. Mostly because Legend of Zelda, when I played Ocarina of Time and beat it, someone told me that I beat it hard. But a lot of the Legend of Zelda games, their stories are singular stories and they don't really intertwine to each other. So every time you're playing a Legend of Zelda game, you're playing another story of Link, which is like another parallel or distant universe. So whatever you did in the previous game usually doesn't fucking matter. And I always hated that shit because it makes it feel like, why am I playing these same characters over and over again if I'm just playing the same fucking story with them to defeat Ganon on a new situation, a new level, because that's all you got to add a variation to the storyline. And the thing is, I actually agree, Jak and Daxter was a fun series, but that's not what we're talking about, y'all.
No. Well, I mean, like, and they're basically saying, too, I think in a sense of, like, responding to me in a sense, because they're saying, like, yeah, you know, there's a lot of games back then that did have something that was cool, like, you know, as far as gameplay, but then also a story as well. And I get that. Jak and Daxter actually has a story. You know, Spyro the Dragon somewhat has a story.
Jak and Daxter was really the one that made platformers on the new consoles really a thing of a possibility that you can go all out with these characters, these level designs, and these different type of puzzles and whatnot. And then they kind of did it. They one-upped themselves again with Jak and Daxter 2, which became a open world, basically Grand Theft Auto Light video game out of fucking nowhere.
Yeah, no,
I think a lot of people forget that about the old PS2 consoles, where the thing was they were all either trying to copy stuff that was still brand new as a gameplay concept. So it felt like you were still playing something that was new, brilliant, and actually innovated. The thing is, we've gotten such a point with video games that they've copied a lot of these gameplay styles, made them better, redone them, remastered them, that anytime we see any of these games come out now with these type of gameplays, like the old Nintendo games, we don't notice it anymore because it's just become a generic storytelling. Yeah. Kind of like how you pick out Star Wars and new stuff every time we chance you get.
By the way, this is Allie. This is Allie and her dog. Oh, that's fucked up.
Nah, if there's a picture, if y'all can find a picture of a dog jumping into a TV, that's more like Harley and Allie.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, how's your TV doing, by the way?
It has more scratches on it. I'm not gonna lie.
She's still jumping into your TV?
Yeah, because every time she does it, I'm not around, and my mom she just doesn't catch it in time. So,
yeah, that would. I swear that dog would be gone at this point. Like, no, fuck that. Like,
I love my dog too much, but seriously, she's getting on my last nerves about
that. That's side-eyed.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, exactly. You fucking little shit. But yeah, no. And then here's this other game. I never heard of this before, but East 8 Lacrimosa of Dana. I don't know how to say it. What the fuck's going on?
Italian alcoholic drink that he was giving that underage boy.
Wait, what?
I said what I said. It sounds like an Italian alcoholic drink that man was giving to that little boy.
Man, okay, that sounds unfortunate. No.
It does sound unfortunate, man. And it's also called The Cosby in America.
In my opinion, though, there's nothing really to say about this game. With Hyrule Warriors coming out and Monster Hunter World coming out, like I think in January 26th, I was actually kind of wondering, like, why is this even coming out? Why are they even talking about this? Because
this actually goes to the point that I was making earlier. Like, the gameplays are coming, like, they're so generic now that everyone's kind of doing their own little builder, Monster Hunter, their own first-person shooter that goes back to this style of gameplay. And, like, for example, fucking, I don't know if you're going to pull it up later or we're going to talk about it later, but the new Metal Gear Solid is essentially that as well. It's taken basically the same elements from, like, these zombie base building games and just added Metal Gear Solid
like Fortnite and shit like that.
Yeah, exactly. And this is kind of what I get out of it. It's like they're trying to make their own thing, but they're borrowing heavily from these other properties. So it's like, oh, is this just, homage or just a good gameplay? So they're going to keep it going because people, like, why change something that's broken? Why reinvent the wheel? Or is it just them trying to cash in on this gameplay style? Because I don't know about you, Nick, but I noticed a lot of these Monster Hunt games are coming out.
No, a lot, man. A lot of these, and I don't know what you're supposed to call them. I mean, they're not beat 'em ups or whatever the fuck. I know that's not the case. But the thing that they're starting to remind me of, or at least this era of everything doing the exact same shit, because that actually is being the case. But like, if you look at something like this, you look at something like this. I'm gonna play the gameplay again. He's jumping around, doing things. I mean, almost like a God of War type style. I mean, it kind of looks like God of War a little bit. You know what I mean? But you see something like that. And then you see something a little bit like this, and this reminds me of, well, this doesn't remind me of this, but back in the day, and this is something I really couldn't stand, but back in the day, I think it was last year or a year and a half ago, where they had Assassin's Creed Black Flag coming out, and everyone was like, dude, Assassin's Creed Black Flag, everyone's freaking out about the pirate stuff, and pirates this, and pirates that, and sea, and stealing shit, and stealing gold, and the whole fucking thing. And you have something like this. This is actually Black Flag, by the way, too. I mean, it looks nice, looks great. A little slow pace, a little atmospheric. But then you get something like this, and this is actually Skull and Bones. This is actually cinematic trailer. But let me see if I see any gameplay. Oh, I don't. But once again, pirate shit. And then you see something like this, the same month, the same E3, by the way, last year, Sea of Thieves. And I remember me, you 90s, and Anthony were talking about playing this on MCA Plus at some point.
Right.
But the thing is, these games are all the fucking same. Like, you know what I mean? And it's like, it's one thing to be the same somewhat, but to come all out at the same time? Like,
that's how it works. Like, don't you remember when fucking all those asteroid movies came back one after another? You had Armageddon. Then you had what was the other one with the boy from Lord of the Rings?
Oh fuck, I can't remember.
Everyone remembers Armageddon because it has Ben Affleck and fucking Bruce Willis in this. That's the only reason anyone remembers that shit. But yeah, Deep Impact. There you go. And I think there was a fucking another one that came out, but that was like more low budget. Same thing with. Don't you remember when all the climate change movies came out? 2012. The Day the Earth Stood Still and shit.
Oh, yeah. God damn. That was a bad time, by the way, for movies. Holy shit.
Roland Emmerich was king for a little while, y'all. Keep that in mind.
Yeah, which he still might be king later on. I mean, he did that movie, the tornado movie, Into the Storm. That was okay. And then...
Man, we talked about that trailer. Besides the trailer, you didn't hear shit about that movie after it came out.
It was all right. I'm sorry. I liked it. And
Geostorm
is okay, too. I'm sorry. Everyone wants to flip out about Geostorm. I watched Geostorm. It wasn't that fucking bad. Okay, y'all need to chill the fuck. But the thing is, like you said with movies, sometimes that one good movie that's lost and all these movies are exactly the fucking same ends up not gaining no love, because what's the point at that point? You know what I mean? I'm over here looking at the Double Total channel. They're talking about the same thing. I'm just noticing there's a lot of stuff going on. Wait, what the fuck happened? Oh no! Oh no! What's gonna happen? You son of a bitch! Oh!
Hey, he saved it though. He saved it.
I like how the dog ran. Like, I fucked up. I'm sorry, Daddy.
Yeah, no, he ran like. I think the dog...
No, hold on. The dog for a split second holds the TV up. If you look like he tries to keep it up, like I fucked up. No, fuck. I'm gone.
I don't have the strength. Get out now.
I'll see you when it's dinner time.
Oh, I'm loving the chat, man. Zoneblade, he said, or JP, he's saying Metal Gear trying to survive.
Hey, all y'all hating on that game, I'm letting y'all know right now. Ganja Guru is gonna buy it day one because I love those zombie survival games. I know it's shameful, I know it's despicable, but fuck it. It keeps the same mechanic and graphics of Metal Gear Solid 5. Hell, let's do the thing that I've said a lot of games should do now. Just buy assets from previous game, upgrade the assets, and make better games out of that shit. Like I think people should do that with the Fable series all the time. Buy those fucking assets and make an actual good game out of it and take a longer development time with it. And that seems like kind of what they're doing with this. Like this is basically State Out of Decay with a kind of Kojima kind of Metal Gear Solid vibe to it. And I like the idea of it, of a bunch of soldiers going and fighting a bunch of zombies from a parallel universe. I mean, guys, Hideo Kojima's gone. We have to accept this. He's gone. So let's see what this new survival looks like, if it's possibly good. It might just be a decent to average good, zombie survival game, or it might be great and it's fun with a bunch of people to play. You got to give shit a chance when it comes to a lot of these games, unlike Nintendo products that you should just throw away at first sight.
Yeah, but with Ys 8, though, I'm kind of wondering, though. I mean, we've seen this happening with zombie shit, but the thing is, like, zombie shit's been going on for fucking 10 years now. I mean, even with movies, even with the shows, Z Nation versus Walking Dead, and Fear the Walking Dead, and Walking Dead this, and Walking Dead that, and Dead, zombie. And it's like, yeah, obviously that's a situation where, like, dude, I'm fucking tired. Stop it. You know,
Yeah, Max even brings it up inside the YouTube chat. I don't like zombie games anymore, maybe because that's, Last of Us wasn't so hype for him. And I can see that, like, a lot of these games, dealing with zombies on TV, zombies in the movies, it's kind of oversaturation of the market. But as somebody who's a huge zombie fan, I'm waiting for that one zombie game that comes out and has all the aspects of, like, a good zombie movie, and then I'll be done. I can take the fucking genre away from me for 30 years. I could be an old man and be like, I remember when they made zombie movies. I don't care anymore at that point. But no game has came out for me yet, and I'm still waiting for that. Once that gives me that game, y'all can have the genre and throw it away to the distance. I don't care anymore. Hell, George A. Romero's dead, as a matter of fact. So I'm not even having the original OG creator make shit anymore. So y'all can get him, throw this genre out to the fucking curb before I get some fucking Twilight shit with it.
No, and by the way, too, speaking of this, I mean, and this is somewhat on topic, but I just want to say we might actually do a chill out party. I'm looking over here on the YouTube chat. Red Robot King said Half Baked 20th anniversary is actually this Monday. Man, maybe we'll watch that shit tonight. I don't know, man. That'd be kind of cool. But yeah,
I feel like we watched Half Baked for a 420 show already.
We probably did. I don't know. We'll see what happens in the chat. But the thing is, too, is speaking of that, the reason why Half Baked is because that movie is not that great either. But it gets to a point, too, where, I think that was a big deal because it wasn't a lot of movies like it that came out at the time. And I feel like even this game, they were talking about Yeast 8, which it's the 8th in the series. So holy shit, yeast infection. Okay, yeast infestation. Okay.
Really? You know that joke?
Because it's yeast. Like, I can't help it. It sounds like yeast. I'm sorry. I apologize. No. Goddamn it. I just wanted to make the joke, Allie. Let me. You could
have gone and been like, it's gonna be a fungus among us. See, you're laughing because it sounds like a parade with like different mushrooms walking around, and it sounds hilarious, and it could be drawn into a cartoon. That's why that works.
Super Mario Brothers 4, Hunkus, you
that yeast shit did not work because I just made me think of bread and yeast infections, which no one likes.
Oh my goodness, nasty. I love it though. But no, with EC8 though, I do feel like, yeah, it's gonna not be something that people want to play or talk about because Monster Hunter World is gonna, Monster Hunter World, that's what's called. It's gonna take over fucking everything. Like, I think everyone, like, that beta was just huge when it came out. Everybody was playing this shit, and I feel like that's gonna happen again. So yeah, we'll see what happens. I don't know. But yeah, Lacrimosa of Dana too. Like, that's not a fun fucking title. Like, why are you calling it that? What does that even mean? Stupid fucking game.
It probably means something within every language it is. It's probably like Arrow Hard or some bullshit like that. You know how companies are, they'll just get like the most fanciest words and put it on there.
Yeah, man. But here's another one over here though. Super Mario Odyssey finally has some fucking DLC, and basically it's actually a pretty cool idea. Basically,
Luigi's there.
Yeah, Luigi's fucking yeah. Luigi is actually the next person to be caught with the sexual allegations situation.
Yo, out of all digital characters and just characters of fictional properties, I'm glad you brought this up. Besides the obvious, like Pepe Le Pew, who would you think be guilty of sexual assault cases if they were like real? Because my mind's on Luigi, because I feel like he was handsy in the 80s, like during the movie days, like he was on cocaine and shit. I feel like he was the trouble brother, like getting car crashes, TMZ doing interviews. What about you guys? Like, who do you think would be like the most like dirtiest motherfucker if they were alive in the real world as video game characters?
Man, honestly, I feel like fucking Liquid Snake was probably really fucked up.
Of course, it's Mortal Kombat characters. Of course.
No, it's Metal Gear Solid, Liquid Snake.
Oh god, I thought you were talking about a fucking Mortal Kombat character for a second. Man, I was like, man,
Kano though, nah, he did some nasty shit. I'm pretty sure he was a nasty motherfucker. But like, Allie, how about you? What's a character in any kind of video game universe do you feel would be nasty as fuck, sexual allegation wise, in real life?
Scrooge McDuck.
I don't.
I mean, Julian saying Duke Nukem, Jet Jackson.
Duke Nukem. That's good. That's good.
Yeah, that's fucked up. I should have used that as an obvious one. Yeah, he does have that bro look.
Yeah. Yep, I'm going with him.
He's gonna rock out with his Duke out, bro.
Johnny Cage.
Oh no, not Johnny Cage. He gets all.
Yeah, I can see Johnny Cage not like he didn't like really assault those girls, but he did inappropriately touch their asses a few times.
Oh, dude, Claude from GTA 3.
Man, Claude, I think shot his ex-girlfriend, so I don't think we should count anyone from GTA because they tend to abuse women and women, so they're not like the best moral characters to bring this on.
But no,
like they would have their own TMZ section at this point.
No, and Julian's saying Wario as well. Yeah, I could see Wario being one, but
Wario, yeah, I can see him be on that Harvey Weinstein level, like trying to jerk off into plants, and all you see is coins popping up.
Yeah. Actually, I bet Fat Princess touched a few little boys. I think Fat Princess was.
No, Fat Princess is a saint and a mother of children. What are you talking about?
Oh man, dude. No, and that's another question too.
Yo, Mario was an animal abuser. Y'all want to hear a ganja fun fact that aren't usually fun? When you're riding Yoshi and you get him to stick his tongue out, you're actually apparently beating the back of fucking Yoshi's head every time he does that. There's like an animation where fucking Mario just hits him. Bah, bah.
I don't think that's the case.
No, look it up. I'm not joking. This shit is real, guys. This is Ganja Guru's fun facts. They're usually real and very sad.
Wait, you said they're usually real, but sometimes they're not.
Players fuck up.
No, actually, I'm gonna show it really quick. I'm kind of curious. Plus,
Lisa and Larry don't count, y'all. Come on now, y'all choose the obvious fucking characters at this point.
Let's see. Come on.
Let's see. See?
He does not. He does not.
He is beating that fucking animal's ass, yo.
Let's see that tongue come out again.
Hold on. It's kind of like the not Michael Jackson video. It's kind of like the JFK assassination. You gotta look closely, left and to the right. Left to the right.
Man, they ain't gonna show shit. God damn it. Fucking
yeah, man, we're just watching the place at this point. Stop it.
Yeah, no, it's all good. Everyone in chat's probably gonna be like, yo, dude, we don't want to see some Super Mario Brothers. Jesus Christ. Wait, Leisure Suit Larry? Wait, who the fuck is that?
Yo, we talked about that on the Untitled video game show. Basically, it's you play as this like little character that is basically a cartoon character of Quagmire in a video game. And I said basically a lot. That's redundant as fuck out of that sentence. But
yeah,
you basically play this character. Again, I did it. But you play this character. You're basically trying to play this pimp who just goes out and just flirts with a lot of these women. And the thing is, you're just doing all this ratchet ass shit that is like the most basic thing you would get out of a Lamp Bass cartoon. Like those guys that made not Death Smoochie, but what's that cartoon with Fritz the Cat? It's basically Fritz the Cat in video game form.
Yeah, fuck that. I'm sorry, but this character, like, this is a really bad design. He looks weird as shit.
And basically, Nick, and just, basically, brother, if you just basically look at it.
Wait, what are you saying? Like, basically,
no, I was making fun of myself because I realized I said basically like 5 times in that sentence.
Hey, basically, though, dude. Basics. No, yeah, dude, this character, man, that's almost an obvious one. This motherfucker, yeah, like, how is this game not about him fondling young people? Like, it looks like it.
It kind of is. Like, at one point, I think you go to college, you go to this co-ed place, and you try to flirt with those girls as well.
It's fucking weird. I don't like shit like that. Fucking, there's actually a new game that came out, too, by the way, side tangent, but it is about video games. But it's this cat dating game. It's not even a cat dating game. Basically, you play as a human wanting to fuck cats. Have you heard of this?
Man, what?
Yeah, god damn, what's it called? It's somebody in the chat, if you guys remember, because the high score talked about this recently, like 2 weeks ago. If you guys can find this, please send me the fucking link. Or
all I know is if you go to the DT chat, Skull is VIP. He found that shit, bro.
Wait, he found what? Oh fuck!
Where he's just beating the fuck out of his neck. Go up. Look at that, Evans. Look at it. Look at it.
Skull, thanks a lot, you son of a bitch.
My bitch. Look at that. Just treating Yoshi like a hoe.
Look at this Mario.
That one is depressing as fuck. Daddy, why? I hate you.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Yo, that game's kind of fucked up because some of those levels do require you to kill fucking Yoshi, and I don't get why.
Because fuck Yoshi, dude. Getting the goddamn way with this bitch ass all the fucking time, man. Fuck that.
I fucking hate you.
But yes, Jet, no, girl. She's saying finally a dating game for her to fuck cats. No, you're not fucking cats, Jet. No, that's bad. Very, very bad.
Hey, man, some people take their furry love to a whole nother level. Sometimes, you gotta get in touch with your bar penis.
Your bar penis?
Look up cat penis. You're welcome.
I'm good. No, I'm fine. People, you in the chat do that shit, and also do it in incognito.
Look it up, but don't post it.
Yeah, don't post it.
Y'all get fucking kicked out.
Well, we can't kick you out, but just don't, because
we'll find a way.
That'd be unfortunate. One thing over here too, I don't know if you ever heard of this, because apparently this is another remake, whatever the fuck. Once again, because it's Nintendo Switch. But yeah, it's called SNK Heroines Tag Team Frenzy, and I love me some fighting games with fucking tag team stuff. But basically, the trailer's talking about tag team favorites and all that jazz. I actually feel like these characters look exactly the same, like as each other. I mean, granted, they're all just like fucking sparkles and all this like bloom flash bullshit. Like I don't know what the fuck's going on at a certain point. But the head detection on it looks really cool, and it actually reminds me of Skullgirls. You ever play Skullgirls?
No, I haven't.
Oh, dude. Why? For one, why haven't you played Schoolgirls?
It's Schoolgirls. What? Schoolgirls. What the fuck you calling it? I'm not playing. It sounds like some mystical anime shit.
Motherfucker, you played Nekopara.
I played that for the fun, all right?
Yeah, fuck you, dick. No, and here, this is Skullgirls, and this, man, I love this fucking game so damn much. And it doesn't matter. Like, that's the thing that's kind of weird about, you know, like the trailer that I showed you earlier for, you know, for SNK Heroines or Heroines. I don't know how to say it. Justin, tell me how to pronounce it.
Justin's it's the proper way to pronounce it because he spelled it right. What about Heron? See, call it Heron.
Heron. Okay. Well, no. The thing about this game is, I mean, for one, I just like the fact that it kind of reminds me a little bit of Skullgirls, and I think that's because of the fact that they're women. I'm gonna be completely honest. I'm probably just saying that because women. But it does look cool, and I miss the tag team aspect of certain things. I know that Tekken 7 does not have this. I could be wrong. Maybe they did an update recently. I know Mortal Kombat X does not have this. And Justice 2, well, I don't know why the fuck they don't, but they don't have this either. What happened to tag team fighting games? Like, is there a tag team fighting game that you really liked back in the day that you'd still, you know, pull up every now and then, or not?
Not really, man. I was never really a fan of fighting games. Like, I remember playing, like, Smash Brothers, you know, a couple of the Soul Caliburs, and a few other games that I can't really think of off the top of my head. The only one I really had a fun time with was called Kung Fu Hustle. Not Kung Fu Hustle, that's a movie. But it was called Kung Fu Chaos for the original Xbox. And it was basically like these little parody characters that you would run around and fight each other on different levels, and you would do map kills. And some of them were just parodies of movies. Like, they had a Jurassic Park level, they had a Titanic level, they had an Alien Invasion level, and it was just a fun multiplayer game. But it wasn't a real, like, honest-to-God fighting game. It was one of those, like, little cartoon brawlers that you see, like, Cartoon Network make.
Yeah, man. I'm surprised, by the way, too, that you don't like that stuff. I can hear myself. What the fuck's on with this mic? But yeah, man, for me, like I said, I'm fighting games, even the My Little Pony fighting game, like, I don't care what it is. I just like me some fucking fighting games, and I'm always going to be into it. And I know me saying that, by the way, too, I know Gary's going to be in the chat like, oh, he likes pony games. Fuck yeah. Like, you know, the whole thing. I can't do the voice, by the way, if you want to do it really quick.
Oh, my God, he likes the ponies!
Jesus.
I'm sorry, Allie. The ponies!
No, stop.
I love that shit. It's like one of my favorite things about doing the shows when I hear the Gary voice.
Oh yeah!
God damn! Like, did your breath get through? Like, she's like, fuck, Jesus Christ.
I felt it.
You smell shit.
Oh, that's sad. No, but that's just fucked up. Poor Gary. Even though, like, he probably loves that shit. One thing I'm gonna talk about this really quick too, because there's really nothing to say other than the fact that my boy Donkey Kong is back. I'm gonna just scoop over here. Yes. There we go, throwing that bitch up there. She should throw it on the fucking ground. But yeah, Donkey Kong's gonna be in Mario versus Rabbids Kingdom Battle, whatever the fuck. And listen, man, I didn't think that people were gonna like this game so much, but apparently people do. It's because of the whole XCOM thing. I think XCOM made it very easy for people to like these type of games. I know you hate Nintendo, but because of XCOM and your real, you know, RTS gameplay nerdum, would you ever play something like this?
Man. No, fuck that. I'm not playing any of those.
You almost said it, motherfucker. Like, no, you almost said yes.
See, the thing, all right, you're telling me, all right, you're going to play this mechanic you really love in this series that kind of made it an original mechanic and brought it back from like a 90s gameplay style. Yeah, I would like to play XCOM, but do I want to play an XCOM skin with Mario people? Not really, especially with the Raven Rabbits. I always thought those characters were fucking dumb, me personally. And the fact that they're like, okay, now we can play this game with XCOM style, where you got Mario characters going against the Rabbit characters. Oh my God. I really have no interest in it, man. Like, the thing is, I probably would play it if I was a Nintendo fan, but the fact that I'm not, it really kind of just looks like a reskin of XCOM, and it probably is going to be a fun game, like Justin points out, but I have real no interest in it.
Yeah, no, I mean, I have interest in it because, and like you brought him up a couple times during the show, but Patrick Gertz, you know, one of the double toasted high score, you know, video game show, he's one of the hosts on there, and, you know, he loves the game, or doesn't love it, but, you know, he was like, oh, I didn't think it was going to be good, and then I played it, and it was actually pretty cool. And I like RTSs now because of you, Ganja, and Alan. You guys got me into Stellaris, and then all that shit, and Hearts of Iron now. And, I mean, all that shit. And I fucking love RTSs now. It's because of you. But I just don't think...
You're welcome for that addiction, sir.
Yeah, I get addicted to video games, or addicted to anything, really. I have a very addictive personality. But the thing is, like, I don't know who the fuck Rabbids are. I know people do not like the Rabbids. Somebody I talk to all the fucking time says she fucking hates Rabbids. Despises them very much. And... you know, I don't know much about them, so it's kind of like not a played out thing for me. So we'll see what happens. If I get Nintendo Switch, I'll probably get that game, especially because Donkey Kong is not getting enough, you know, limelight, you know, in my opinion.
Well, besides, you know, the drum game that he had, he really doesn't have a bunch of standalone games that come out.
Yeah, and Julian said it's like the South Park game. Yeah, dude, the thing about the South Park game that I actually really liked as well is the fact that it was so easy to adapt to its gameplay. Because like when you watch it, that's all you have to do is actually watch somebody play it to get it. It's a very, very easy to play game. So I thought that was pretty cool too. And I like the whole like Super Mario RPG aspect of it too. You know, like it's just I don't like the jokes. I just the fact that it's this awesome game inside South Park, it drives me up the fucking wall. And then they ruin some things too. Like for one, sorry, but it is a game, and you're gonna put a gaming mechanic on taking a shit, and you're gonna wiggle the turd off his butt. Like I'm sorry, but that's not funny.
You could put gaming mechanics on anything. I'm starting to fucking figure out. Have you played one of those story-driven games that from the guys that made Indigo Prophecy? Like they really make you make bullshit where he's like press A to grab copy cup.
Yeah. Oh, and by the way, we're probably. Wait, what'd you say, Allie?
Those are the best games.
Oh no, bad.
I love those. I love those David Cage games. They're the best.
But the thing is, we're gonna talk about this next, and I wish Alan was here so I can fucking yell at him. But yeah, man, fucking Payday. Payday 2. More Payday this, Payday that. Apparently, this character is there's gonna be a character on here. New. I guess it's only for Nintendo Switch. And for some reason, this particular character, I guess her name's Joy, and she has these weird technological powers where any kind of firewall that you have, she can break through. Okay, so basically, they make the game easier. That's pretty cool that they're making the game easier. But one thing that's frustrating the fuck out of me is that this game came out, I think, 5 fucking years ago. It was 2013, August of 2013, that this game came out. And they're still releasing shit for this game. And then on top of that, on top of releasing new shit for the fucking video game, it's only for Nintendo Switch users. So it's like people like you and Alan and me who bought this game, have been playing the fuck out of this game, who let the game sit there and get fucking cobwebs because nobody plays the fucking shit anymore. Right. Fucking, we don't get nothing. You don't get no DLC. You know what I mean? You have to buy it again to get some kind of evolution of the gameplay. Even
when you get the game now, because it's free to play if you get the base game. But even now, like if you want to have anything good, you have to buy all as a package. So it's automatically $80 if you want all the DLC.
Yeah, no, it drives me up the fucking wall, dude. I really can't stand that shit. I mean, I don't know how they're still shoving Payday 2 in our fucking mouths, forcing us to buy this game again just to play a new character. It's just one new character, you know what I mean? But yeah, like, I don't know. It's Nintendo Switch. You would think they would do more. It's fucking annoying. They're taking advantage of us yet again. I mean, would you get this? Or are you still waiting for Payday 3? I mean, how do you feel about this?
Well, I was never a real fan of Payday because it kind of suffers from the same thing Grand Theft Auto heist missions do. You kind of need a competent bunch of players. And if you constantly doing those random shit, you always get those guys that just want to fucking troll the mission and just ruin it every time they start it. And I don't have time to wait 5-10 minutes for a server to pick up my game and get people that might want to play it seriously so we can actually make some money and I can progress through the gameplay. And most of the time, it's just motherfuckers, like I said, trolling or just doing their most impossible thing to make the game difficult for the people that are just trying to play it right. And that's the thing. Like, a lot of these games require a good, solid fan base of friends and people that want to play it seriously. And if they don't have that, then it just turns to shit. Honestly, I was never really a fan of the Payday series because I really got the sense that they were just like little heist missions. And besides that, there was really nothing of substance in the game. And from what I see, most of the heist missions just turn to shoot a bunch of cops that constantly respawn anyway. So it's like, it seems like one of those games that should have been like early access. And they came out maybe in 2012 or 13, and they're just now getting DLC. And I don't see why it's kind of still a very popular title.
Yeah, no, I don't get it either, honestly. And one thing I'm going to bring up really quick, too, and this is an example of doing something new. Finally, Nintendo Switch has done something new, y'all, because so far everything that we brought up has been just redos and remasters of the same shit over and over and over again. But here we go with this. This game apparently is called Faye. Faye, actually, it looks pretty cool. I like this. Basically, the music that's being played is really, really beautiful, really nice sounding, and it's actually the gameplay. Apparently, the way the sounds move and everything, that's how you attack people. That's how you open up certain things. You actually have to use the sound to progress in the game. And this reminds me of a game called Arrow. This is another game on PS4, actually, or on the PS4 Pro. But, you know, it's just like, you know, Audio Shield. Audio Shield's another game that we've watched 90s play constantly. Actually, here's the gameplay. You know, this fucking dude looking like a doofus on the side. But, yeah, man, you know, I like these types of games. I like when there's emphasis on the music, you know, but I love how this game takes it a step further and the music is the game. You know what I mean? Like, I think that's pretty badass. But then on the flip side of that, you get another new game that's coming out, and this is called Celeste. And it looks like another Terraria ripoff thing. I don't really like the fact that they're doing this yet again. I've seen this done tons of fucking times. I'm kind of sick of them doing this shit as well. I mean, look at that. Like, you've seen this 100 times, right? I mean,
Yeah, it's just the same. It's trying to get off on the nostalgia factor. A lot of these indie games, a lot of these like small time developers, they're really trying to get that nostalgia factor with a lot of those games because that's the only reason it could sell. Like how Cuphead, the most thing that was big about it was this nostalgia factor with the animation and the gameplay style. Besides that, it's just a difficult game with pretty colors. There's nothing really to sell you like 30+ game, and I kind of get that with a lot of these small titles as well.
Yeah,
and honestly, I got a lot of vibes out of fucking what was that game that came out where the developer lost his mind? Fez. I really got a lot of Fez vibes from it as well.
No, me too. And then I'm looking at something like this. Like this is Bastion over here, and they managed to make it where like, listen, like the game, the music is supposed to be background. You know what I mean? Like we get it. We're just gonna play the fucking game. You enjoy the music, you enjoy the atmosphere, but that is going to be atmosphere. It's not going to be the entire gimmick of what we're going to be doing here. So right. I do like Bastion doing something like this, and I also like how Hotline Miami did that. I say the shit the wrong way.
Hotline Bling.
Hotline Bling. But like I like how they did this as well. Where the music is so good, I think they sell the soundtrack. Don't they with Hotline Miami? They sound this.
Yeah, they do. They sell it as an independent soundtrack because it's become such a popular thing with people. It's got that old like that 16-bit, and sometimes they just go to like this real smooth, like I would call it vaporwave music almost to a certain degree, though it's not that. Where it's just reminiscent of the 80s and it has those very hardcore synths and just those little drops in between the beats. And I appreciate that shit. I actually like the soundtrack of Hotline Miami, but I never played the game because it one, it looked difficult, and two, I feel like it's a Flash animation game that's being sold to me.
Yeah, no, and I feel the exact same way. And here's one thing I want to bring up really quick too. But our boy, once again, like I said this in the Rabbids talk earlier, but yeah, Donkey Kong is back, and so is Funky Kong, my boy. So basically, Tropical Freeze.
Who the fuck is Funky Kong?
What, did you ever play Donkey Kong Country 3?
I had never played the third one, sir.
Oh, it was very, very good. And the thing is, like this little bit over here is something that I wish they would have done back in the old days, and they didn't. But the whole like spiraling through the fucking water, he didn't have any kind of like cool things that he did back in those days. It was just like another character skin type thing. But now he has some gimmicks to him. And some pretty cool gimmicks. And
yo, man, all right. This dude looks like Smoochie. Is it Smoochie from fucking The Simpsons? Yo, man, let's make this character that's gonna be rad and gonna bond with the kids of now. He's gonna be totally Generation X. He's gonna surf. He's gonna skateboard. He's gonna be buff. He's probably gonna even listen to fucking rock metal, bro.
Yeah, no, he talks like that though. Like, I'm trying to see who Smoochie is. I'm looking this up over here too.
Oh no, Poochie from there he is, right there, Poochie.
Where?
Right there, the little fucking dog.
Oh,
if y'all don't know, basically the whole point of this character was they were trying to reinvent Itchy and Scratchy, and you know how cartoons tend to reinvent themselves. They either add a little kid character or a pointless extra that is representative of the kids nowadays. And he was literally one of those things, and it was just the Simpsons making fun of that idea in animation.
Yeah, and I'm looking over here in the chat too. I completely agree with you, bro. But yeah, Aaron's saying like, yeah, no, Nick, 2 was better, and yes, he is right. Donkey Kong Country 2, Dixie's Conquest was the shit. I actually love this game a whole fucking lot. I love the soundtrack. I love everything about this shit. But I do feel like people don't give Donkey Kong Country 3 any love. God, this mission was fucking hard, by the way. But yeah, this is the second game, and I didn't see no Diddy in the new trailer we just saw now, Tropical Freeze. But they need to bring his ass back at some point. They really do. But yeah, Aaron, I completely agree with you, bro. Like, absolutely. He said Red Robot King saying DMX needs to be in Cuphead. DMX and Cuphead.
How can the MC talk about Black Panther with no black people on? Man, if we turn that low with how can we talk about anything, bro? None of us are white.
Oh, yeah, exactly. What the fuck? I know I sound white, but I'm not. Come on,
he tries his best, y'all. He's trying to get that credit score up.
Man, I am. So anyway, and here's the thing. So this is the last thing. I know it's been a long talk, but I just want to talk about everything. And here we are with Donkey Kong, or not Donkey Kong. The big master fucking trailer that they sold and started hyping up throughout this whole fucking video. And here it is. Oh, praise the sun! It's Dark Souls Remastered.
Oh my god, Dark Souls is fucking turning into what is it called? Skyrim, bro. This is what another remaster or port they're making for another fucking console.
Yeah, and this is a trailer, by the way. They built this shit up like, ooh, what is it? And by the way, I can't show the entire thing because I want to get sued. So I'm gonna leave it on Ganja, and we're just gonna talk, and I'll go back to it, and you'll see. I'm not pausing the video. I'm not doing anything to the video. I'm just waiting. Just waiting. It's still building up. And here we go. And there we are. That's the big trailer. That's the big reveal. A fucking
Well, you can
flame.
tell they're learning from Hollywood how to do trailers now for video games, because that's something you'll see a movie do.
Yeah, but in a bad way. Fucking stupid. Why the fuck do people want to... Dude, this game is old, man. This game's very old at this point. Why... for one, are you sold somewhat? Do you get why people would be interested in this?
Fuck no, man. I never played the hell out of Dark Souls. Dark Souls like Cuphead. I never got the point why people would play games to suffer.
Yeah, I don't get it either. And Dark Souls 3 just came out recently. Like, can we get a break from the fucking... I mean, I'm still playing Bloodborne, and like that game drives me up the fucking wall. But I mean, dude, the Dark Souls franchise, I'm sorry, but you can't keep punishing people like this. And you also can't keep doing this thing where you're going to re-release something like that. You're doing this with Skyrim, you're doing this with actually every game we brought up today except for fucking 2 of them.
Right.
You can't do this. This is ridiculous. And I'm sorry, but like it's not Epic anymore. They're doing this slow-ass little thing. This is Dark Souls 3 opening cinematic for the PS4. And yeah, looking at this, I'm like, okay, this would be cool if there's a story behind it or something. But no, I'm just going to play something that's fucking hard. That's the gimmick, is that it's difficult. There's no world, there's no universe to it. It's just bullshit upon more bullshit. I fucking hate Dark Souls. But yeah, that's the big reveal, is the fact that that's going to be on Nintendo Switch.
Oh, very big reveal. Like every game that's going to be ported to the Nintendo Switch now apparently is going to be on there. Yeah, big surprise.
Yeah, exactly. You know, it's Nintendo Wii U 2, Electric Boogaloo.
No shit.
But I'm going to ask you this, though, man. Like, granted, I kind of put you into a corner here, but this talk and everything that was revealed, I mean, did it sell you at all for a Switch? At all?
Fuck no! I was bored throughout this whole conversation, to be honest with you. Like, okay, this will all be cool. This will all be cool if it wasn't fucking Nintendo products.
Yeah. I mean, it sucks. I mean, then again, it is a Nintendo console, so it's gonna have to be Nintendo products. But I totally get what you're talking about. Yeah. And I mean,
think about someone like me who's not a fan of Nintendo products. Oh, why did my camera go off? Anyways, for someone that's not a fan of Nintendo products, like the thing is, it's just kind of the same repeat over and over again, or the same properties being reused. Like, for example, like you showed us the new Donkey Kong game that's going to be done with his cousin. It is literally the same kind of setup of a side scroller where you're trying to defeat these villains and grab whatever kind of mystical item the guy loses at the beginning of the game. Mm-hmm. There's hardly any real different variations. At least Odyssey did a mix up of the style, and it seems like a lot of these games are already copying the same kind of gameplays that we see are becoming more popular and mainstream, and just trying to put a new skin on it. So it's got the same kind of power for this, or it's just a port or another remake of a game that you could play better graphics for on a different console.
Yeah, I mean, and I completely agree with you at that point. But yeah, man, it's just Nintendo Switch, y'all. It's a thing. I'm upset. I don't fucking like this at all. You know, right. But I mean, there is a couple games like Pokemon, etc. Like, I mean, I got set to that shit. But we'll see what happens. Now, moving on finally to another topic that I was honestly kind of wishing that the video game topic would actually last longer, so I don't have to talk about this again. But goddamn it, Black Panther, man. Black Panther.
Here we go.
Here we go.
I love our history with this thing.
Yeah, so I'm scared, and the reason why I'm scared, just for context, for people that are watching this on YouTube and everything too, we've talked about Black Panther a couple of times before, and except for the first trailer, we all had something really bad to say about it. Like all of us, we all didn't like it, except for the very first
trailer was trash, bro.
Yeah, the first trailer Ganja liked. You know.
I loved it. With Run the Jewels and shit. The second one was not very appeasing, and I felt like it was just a clip show, and it didn't show anything new for the movie.
Yeah, and I mean, for me, just to give you some more context, is like I used to get mad at things like the Spider-Man Homecoming trailer, and I would talk shit for shows and shows. We did 5 trailer reviews of that fucking movie, and I hated every single one of them, and was guaranteeing Ganja was gonna be the worst movie of the year, and it was one of the best. You know, so god damn it, you know. So anything I say here, just know that most likely I'm going to be fucking wrong because you know I do that sometimes, and I will admit when I'm wrong. But when it comes to
not me, I stick to my guns no matter how wrong I am, sir.
No, don't do that. You gotta admit when you're wrong, goddammit. But the thing is with Black Panther, apparently it beat the MCU pre-order records. And for one, I hate the fact that it's just being pre-ordered. Like now, this movie doesn't have to earn its money. It already got its money. It's done.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like already, ta-da. And I'm like, wow, dude, like what an easy fucking road. Now, Allie, I'm gonna ask you, like, what do you feel kind of built us up to that point? What about Black Panther that made it get these records or whatever, like beat the records?
The fact that we've kind of not had a superhero movie like this before. I know Ganja would argue Blade, but this one is like, okay,
Everyone forgets
it's part of like the Marvel Cinematic Universe and everything. Like this is a big deal, and it's really kind of portraying more of like the African culture. We haven't really gotten that before, and it's portraying it not really in any stereotype. People are excited, and also I'm not gonna lie, the actual title is Black Panther. You know, the connotation behind it as well. I'm not gonna lie, but yeah, like I mean, there are people out there that just don't care that much about superhero movies or stuff like that, but they see this and they're like, oh man, I gotta see that because this is something unique, it's different, and they're putting so much money behind something like this that hasn't been done before with this amount of budget. So it's like, wow, they're really investing in this. I have to go and support this because it's like, and it also has like all these amazing actors in it that everyone freaking always like loves, like, you know, the old actors and the new. So shoot, my mom is super excited about this. She's more excited than Iron Man, and she loves Iron Man. So that's it. She's like, we have to see that. We are seeing that. We have to see that opening weekend. My mom usually is not like that. So like when my mom acts like that, and she's not really like, she likes watching movies with me, but she's not like super into it like we are. When she says that, you know that like the general audience is like, yeah, this is an event. Like we all have to support this.
Yeah. Meanwhile, this dude's like, why?
I don't know, man. I'm probably not gonna see it in theaters, to be honest with you. Like I know everyone's like, you gotta go support this movie, man. I stole Coco. I stole every movie that's come out this year. I'm admitted to a felony. I don't give a fuck. I admit to a lot of them on the show. This could be for comedic effect for all you know, and I use that in court. Yep. But I steal a lot of movies now, thanks to the Lure Torrent and the fact that Nick taught me how to do this shit.
I'm a motherfucker. No, I didn't teach you how to do shit.
Possibly taught me how to do this shit. Let me finish my rant before you incriminate yourself. Damn. But the thing is, like, I have no interest to go see this fucking movie, honestly, in the theater. Like, I feel like it's gonna be another regular superhero movie, and I feel like if it wasn't for the African overtones, like Justin brings up in the chat earlier, you wouldn't have this big hype surrounding it. And this is coming from a Native American person that gets told to watch fucking Dance with Wolves on repeat every time. And I'll let you know that movie is somewhat fucking boring halfway through. But you tell another Native American person that, you get look sideways. And I feel like this is just going to be another superhero movie. And I think people are going to give it higher ranking movie praise than it actually deserves. And I don't know. I'm just really iffy with the Black Panther. And to the point is, like, I'm going to probably steal this movie as well. Because one, I've been stealing a lot of movies now. Why break the fucking the new rule I have for myself? And two, none of y'all motherfuckers went to go see Johnny Depp dress like an Indian in the fucking what was that movie that he dressed up with as the one with the bird on his head, and you had the guy, the Last Avenger or some shit. I didn't see a fucking whole line of people lined up for that. Yeah, the Lone Ranger. I see a whole line of people trying to say this is for Native American rights. Let's go see this film. So I'm like,
one thing to bring up too.
Okay. First off, Johnny Depp ain't freaking Native American. He's like 118. Like that does not count.
According to a tribe out there in Arizona, he is Native American, Ali. And that broke my heart when Rufus told me that.
No, man, but one thing I want to
whitewashing.
The one thing I want to bring up too.
No, I do understand. I'm just fucking with y'all to a certain degree, but honestly, I kind of feel like it's gonna be a good superhero movie, and I honestly do like if you want to go for the politics about Black culture, this is great that y'all getting this and actually getting a superhero that actually is a positive light and doesn't have no gangster culture aspect to it. Because even Luke Cage, even though he was a good person and somebody that's considered a good person in the community, he still had a lot of that hip hop slang and that kind of like that urban culture with it. Whereas this is taking a more like a more ancient culture and revitalize it for the 21st century and bringing it to the superhero structure. So I appreciate it. And I get where it's coming from. I'm just hoping that people don't see, if it's a mediocre film, people don't see past the mediocrity, and I get accused of being racist, even though I just say it's a mediocre film, because that has happened already to me, and I'm still ticked off about that, ladies and gentlemen.
No, but really quick, I just want before we continue on, because people are saying like, yeah, you guys can talk about this unless someone black's in here. Even though Allie's black, let's not take away her culture from her. But also,
hey, that's dumb. I stay quiet.
Just saying, I'm just telling the chat. But chat, we got another boy up in here, Marcus Kilgore. How you doing, sir?
What's going on? Good evening, folks.
By the way, too, can you move your camera up really quick? Because we just got your chin here, buddy. Let's see.
He's like the guy from the Proud Family, the guy that owns the whole town and shit.
Yeah. yeah. I love that shit. But no, really quick, I want to bring this up as well. But, okay, you guys saying like, okay, maybe you guys just don't get it. Well, one thing I do get is bad CGI. We have this. check this out. Very bad. And then at the same time, we have this. Is that not the same? That's Gods of Egypt right there, y'all. Gods of Egypt. I'm sorry, but does that not look exactly the same? Like, granted, I don't have this one moving and shit, but, like, the graphics are very similar. The special effects are of the same quality.
I disagree.
No.
That's one thing I gotta disagree with you. Like the effects, kind of. I like the idea that the suit appears like a nanotechnology suit above the person that uses it. I think that's a cool aesthetic. But I get what you're coming around. It's kind of like the same kind of like Iron Man type of suit that we kind of seen of a lot of these characters get redone. So it's not that like kind of old school spandex outfit that you see from like the 70s and 80s. But honestly, Nick, what can you really do at this point? Like, if you want to make it look futuristic, you gotta have to make it look like battle armor.
Yeah, but I mean, it should look better than that. Like, I mean, and I found a GIF, by the way. I'm going to use this. Okay, so you guys see that. And then here's Gods of Egypt. Well, start from... There you go. See, is it not the same?
Nah, because you're just going through the transformation sequence. Hell, you can do that with any fucking movie. You can be like, oh, well, doesn't this Wolfman scene just look like the same thing from the Hulk?
Yeah, in my opinion, it does.
Rufus, don't stab me. I'm not racist.
I'm sorry. I feel like it's the same thing, and I know that like it's not the same quality of movie, and like you're saying right now too, is like, well, you're just picking one scene. I'm like, yeah, because that's the topic of this particular part.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Like, it's not one scene, but the thing is, it shows it like in a highlighted visual. We don't know if there's going to be more quick transformations that doesn't do this kind of like cheesy gold aspect. And if you go back to the Gods of Egypt, they really didn't put too much into the CGI work. So a lot of it wasn't really, I guess, heavily ran through to the point that it actually looked like gold flakes appearing on the dude. Like the difference between the Black Panther scene with that scene and the one, it looks like this old like PlayStation 1 liquid is appearing on the character. Like it reminds me of those old Flash animations you get from those old consoles. Whereas the new Black Panther, it looks metallic. It looks like something being built around the character. So it gives me a sense of even more sci-fi technology, which I appreciate. Whereas that was kind of like cheap CGI.
And here's the thing too. Like I completely understand that that's not going to be the case throughout the whole movie. You know what I mean? Like I know it's not going to look like that particular bit when we saw that. They're not going to do that again. That's only the only time it's going to show up. But the fact that they put that in the forefront, they put that in the trailer to be like, no, we're going to sell y'all. This movie's going to be great. Look at our fucking transformation point. And I'm like, holy shit, that made it to the trailer? That made it to sales? Like, really, motherfucker? Like, no, that is terrible. Like, that is some B-movie shit. And, like, granted, I know it doesn't look as bad as fucking, what was the other one? Gods of Egypt that I just brought up a couple times. In other people's opinions, I feel like it looks very similar. But, like, even though they're both very, very different movies, and Gods of Egypt is actually probably racist in itself, too. You know, and it's a really terrible fucking movie. I just feel as though, someone's mic farted. But I just feel like, yeah, man, God.
About hip-hop.
What's going on?
Yeah.
I don't know, but I found a way to mute him.
Okay, yeah. We'll mute you in a bit, Rufus. By the way, yeah, Rufus is actually in the chat. I just want to say what's up and everything. I know you're there, buddy. But we'll mute him in a bit because the thing was fucking up. But either way, though, man, like I said, for me, it's not a storyline thing. It's not a me not understanding the culture thing. It's just right there in front of my eyes. It's something I just don't like seeing, especially when and you said that you like this. Actually, you like the car thing when he jumps in the fucking air.
Well, it takes a point to the character aspect. Like Marcus, I think you could agree with me when you actually see him running through the city and actually doing a lot of these flips and running through the actual buildings themselves. It is reminiscent of a cat on the prowl or hunted through the savannah.
I enjoyed that very much, actually.
See? Yeah, so it's one of those things that risks with the aspect of the aesthetics of the hero. So I have no problem with that. It's just I'm worried. I just really don't want this to be a mediocre film that we call out for being mediocre, and we just get bashed on heavily because it's like that. Because we've had this happen with a couple of films already, whereas people put a lot of emphasis onto it, and I'm just hoping that it's actually worth all this hype.
Yeah, but actually,
you sound better now.
Yes, you do.
Yes, you do, Ruthless. Now don't stab me.
So yeah, no, but go ahead, Ruthless. The floor is yours in this, brother.
Well, no, I mean this is exactly. I get why you bring up the CG's quality in the particular trailer, but this is the pattern that Marvel has done with literally every movie. You get the trailers with the first few passes that they've done the CGI on. You know it's going to be better by the time you get to the actual movie. You get sometimes a little too much in the trailer, sometimes not enough in the trailer, and the ones that they think are really important get, the overly important spots. So Black Panther's getting the royal treatment. The Avengers got the royal treatment. Winter Soldier got the royal treatment from Marvel, and over time the trailers get better until you're right up to the film, and they're like, all right, we're not gonna show anymore, and when the movie is gonna be fine. Like, let's just be real. That's what it is. That's what Black Panther's going through right now.
Yeah, no, I mean, I agree with you, but then for me, that still makes me mad because this is the same thing I hated with Spider-Man: Homecoming, is the fact that the CGI, because it did look a little bit better in the movie, it really did, but like, get it done right first time. Don't tell me that you're gonna do it in a shittier way. Like, that's why people like me get fucking mad at Spider-Man: Homecoming. And honestly, same with Thor: Ragnarok. Ragnarok, the trailer actually looked pretty much on par with the actual movie itself, and the movie looked fucking ridiculous. Like, I'm sorry, but I fucking hate Thor: Ragnarok. And I know people are saying it's the funniest movie ever. I'm sorry, but saying we're gonna get to the rectum, the what's it called, rectum or rectal, some shit about the ass, and they made the same joke that Transformers 2 does again and again and again, literally 10 times with the fucking rectal joke. And it's like, it's not funny. I don't like Marvel at all. I'm one of those guys, right. So you're right, Ruthless. I completely agree with everything you said, and you're 100% correct. But that's the reason why I hate it even more. You know what I mean?
I know, but Nick, come on, man. You have been around movies in this no longer just a random fan position for a while now. They have to start making the trailer essentially the moment the movie wraps getting with production.
Sure.
So you have to deal with these weird. All right, well, these are only clips we got done with the CGI so far. It's not finished. Well, still, we need them. We gotta put stuff out, and that's when you start doing stuff. So, like, I get why you're angry. I just, like, come on, man. We have to understand this crap. Like, it's something we have to deal with.
Yeah, and you're right. I mean, it is something we have to deal with. But that's why it's like, for me, most people probably don't know that. So when I discuss like a trailer and I hate on a trailer and I get mad at a trailer, I'm literally just judging it for what I see in front of my eyes, because there's a certain chance, like with Thor Ragnarok, I thought that looked bad, but if I would have said like, hey, no, Thor Ragnarok, it might get good. I mean, we always go through this particular part. It's like, I would have been wrong because Thor Ragnarok fucking sucked. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that was bad.
Well, there's some stuff that you can't apologize for. Like, if the movie's just shitty and you can tell that from the trailer, that's a whole different story. Like, I think bagging on films for the way that the trailer looks is less important than, all right, does it look like they have a coherent story going on? Because anybody that tells me that they thought Ragnarok had a coherent story in the early trailers is lying their ass off. Like, anybody that told me that Guardians of the Galaxy had a coherent story in the trailers is lying their ass off. Like, just
true.
Let's be real here, Like, let's be fair about all this at least.
Yeah, true. And I mean, and like I said, at my point, I think I am being fair. Like that's why it's like we always get confused about the thing, because
that's like, oh, they're being nitpicky. But the thing is, like, all we got is the trailer so far, guys. Like, we pretty much gave you our problems with the trailer, and then I pretty much gave the prediction of, like, we're hoping that the hype of this movie doesn't surround the actual quality of the film, and that just clouds people to give it a better pass. Because I don't like seeing films do that, because we've seen in the past where people have hyped up films for their just cause. Like, I remember when Ghostbusters came out with the whole remake of All the Women. There was a solid week where people were just attacking people because they didn't think the movie was good, until more people came. I was like, no, that's just trash. I'm a feminist and I think that was horrible. And then the ball started rolling and people started like hating the thing more. And I just hope it's not the same case. Honestly, I hope Black Panther is good and something different from Marvel, and not the same shit we've seen with the Thor Ragnaroks and other series. Because they, like, Marcus Kilgore and Rufus point out, there's kind of a template with these things that are out there. So you kind of gotta find a way around these and create new stuff at the same time keeping up with the template. Because again, all these movies does come back around to one final film. So I think that's why a lot of Nick, your problems with it are also problems with the series in the Marvel Universe in general, because now they're getting close to the end of it. A lot of these films got to make sure they hit all the points so that final film makes sense with all these characters being a part of it. Especially that, I'm not wrong, I think they added Black Panther really recently to it. Like, he was one of those characters that a good point of public support really got him to get a movie made. So I'm really hoping they got a good chance to make a good story, and this is just not the Iron Man 2 of Black Panther, because we're gonna make a movie just about him, and then later down the line, and let's just get the character into the final cut.
I think it all comes back to is just like, I know people are like, well, man, is this a trailer review? You guys can actually talk about fucking movies or the topic, But it's just like, with Black Panther beating the MCU pre-order records, the thing that frustrates me the most is the fact that, like, this is the first of a black superhero movie, etc. And honestly, Ganja, I disagree with you. I don't think Blade counts. Sorry, all right,
hold on, y'all.
Blade counts. For certain
Blade not count as a black superhero?
Does Hancock count?
I count him.
You know what? Okay, you know what? Actually, no, that makes sense. Thank you, Kilgore.
That's not a comic property. That's an entirely separate. We came up with this movie on our own. It didn't have anything else going on with it. It's a brand new superhero. Like if Hancock counts, then Spawn counts, and I don't fucking count Spawn.
Man,
even though I love Spawn.
Yeah, no, and yeah, Spawn does not count. No,
I have Todd McFarlane signed Spawn comics, and I don't think that Spawn movie.
Wow.
All right, like. But fuck that movie. I like Michael Jai White, but fuck that movie.
Yeah, no, I love Michael J. White actually. Yeah, I didn't.
Thank you, Pro Black Man. He says Blade counts. Thank you.
No bullshit.
Counts.
but it all comes back to what Ali said though actually earlier. Is the fact that like it's because like this is the first of that, and I feel the first black superhero movie. In that sense, granted it's debatable. I guess now I found out. I think there's so many other movies that we could discuss in that sense. But yeah, but that's the thing that kind of frustrates me too. Is like. That's the only thing that made this beat the pre-orders. Like they haven't even came out with like a final trailer yet. We still got more build to do currently right now, just like what Ruthless said earlier. And I'm like, damn, like this thing. I mean, I don't understand like why it's that incredible. Like I could see Black Panther 2 doing that or something like that, right?
Nick, if I could say something,
hype movie.
Go ahead, Kilgore.
Yeah, go ahead, Kilgore.
Yeah. No, the press on this movie has been strong. I can't think of one negative story with this movie. This seems to be a movie that's generating a lot of positive buzz. So I think that's what's leading to the increase in ticket sales. Because this is going to be like an event. Like this is the type of event film that you need to go see.
Yeah,
in my opinion.
Because everybody in here, I feel like, maybe not Ali or Ganja, but like I feel like everybody else in here has, and even Justin too. I feel like we've all decided like, yeah, Black Panther is going to be good. Like,
it's definitely just definitely from what you see with the pre-orders in the box office, it's definitely going to hit its fucking mark and it's going to hit its budget, and y'all are definitely going to get a fucking sequel. My thing is, I just hope I'm not dealing with The Force Awakens, where I lied to myself and said it was a good movie and it wasn't a bunch of callbacks, and then as the months rolled on and I talked to more people, and I was like, yeah, that movie was not better than Sex like I thought it was. It's still a good movie, but it wasn't what I thought it was.
Yeah, but it was still a good movie.
It was still a good movie.
Yeah.
But like that's the thing I had an issue with Avatar. Issue I had with fucking Star Wars Rogue One, where those movies did not have to earn their shit. They just didn't. It was like Avatar was like, hey, we're Avatar, and it's James Cameron. It's like, okay, money, pre-orders, buying it, this, that, whatever the fuck, and then it's still at the top because it was hype for a fucking year. You know, like Avatar does not deserve that fucking spot in the box office. It does not. It's a horrible fucking movie. I hate that fucking movie.
It was just perfect timing with that movie.
Yeah,
that's all. Like it didn't do well. It didn't do well the first 2 weeks because we had like a record-breaking snowstorm like all through the East Coast, and that makes a lot of the percentage of the money for grossing. So after that, when people who did see it, they were like, "Oh man, this is incredible," because we didn't have a movie like that with having a CGI world that looked so realistic. The 3D was. It took 3D to a new, different level. Definitely overdone now because of Avatar, but it wasn't the type that was like cheesy and hoaxy. It was 3D that felt like, oh, this is giving the movie more depth. Feels like I'm actually there. James Cameron actually creating technology, like inventing technology for that movie, like having all of this type of press going around it and how long it took him to make it. People were curious to see what the heck it was. And then James Cameron, his name does mean something. I mean, the last movie he made was Titanic. So people love that movie. It did extremely well. People, of course, are going to go see this. So it's just timing. Like Black Panther, perfect timing. We're in an era now where, people really want to see more of themselves represented in a way that's not stereotypical. And it's just, again, perfect timing.
Yeah,
Black Panther's just perfect timing.
Yeah, no, and I agree, but that's just like most movies that do well due to perfect timing are fucking terrible, and they don't deserve all the praise they end up getting, and it's like,
So you hate the original Star Wars then?
Yes, I do. Thank you.
like
The original Star Wars movie, like that.
Don't get him started, please.
Yeah. Oh no.
No. We can say how much Nick's wrong, but
Yeah, but then again, it's like you guys. I won't get into a big thing, but it's like oh, Last Jedi's
Nick
bad
also
because
hates the Matrix.
Actually,
Nick, you do hate the Matrix.
Yeah, the Matrix sucks too. I'm sorry.
My heart.
There's a reason why that movie suffers from being so dated because it was so cool for fucking 6 months and then it was not. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's movies that are good always because they're good movies. If the movie's good and then it gets out, okay, go watch it again. Like, I mean, I don't know what to tell you.
I did. I have watched it multiple times. Thank you very much.
Then that says a lot about you. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, I actually watch movies.
I mean, shit. You know, but I mean, are you sure you watched it, by the way, too? Like, that's another thing we always get into. But
yes, but you know, I will say too, I do side you only in the sense that I want Black Panther to be a good movie on its own terms. You know, I get the arguments everyone makes about it being important, about it being, you know, a significant step. You know, and I made the comment to Julian in the chat, just like, look, it could be a movie that's made with Mormon actors and Mormon characters and shows them as like superheroes and that stuff. If it's a bad movie, it's a bad movie, and I will say it.
Mormon man, like, yeah, I would love that shit.
Yeah, but see, and that's the thing. It's like, you know, if Black Panther's great, then sure, I will judge it because it's great.
Justin's got a point, because Book of Mormon, that thing gets viewed by mostly Mormons, from what I hear. Like, there's a good population of viewership is actually Mormons to go see that shit. So
and it sucks. We all agree it sucks.
Yeah, like, so like he has an example.
The movie or the musical? Sorry,
the musical.
Oh no. Okay, sorry. There's a Book of Mormon movie that's terrible, and we acknowledge it's terrible too.
You never see the Catholic Church do that about Passion of Christ, y'all.
Yeah,
Passion of Christ is actually not a bad movie.
Because Mel Gibson is crazy.
Thank you so much.
Like, if you come out against Passion of the Christ, Mel Gibson will come to your house personally to fight you.
Even so, man,
drunk, yelling racial slurs, no matter whether or not you're the same race or not. Like, you can't.
I just picture me open the door and it's just Mel Gibson square up.
I just imagine Mel Gibson come to you. It's like, what do you do? What do you talk about, Whitey or something like that?
Whitey, what the fuck is wrong with you? How drunk are you, sir?
Yeah, exactly.
No, but to move on though, really quick, because I mean, I see people are talking about fucking Star Wars in the chat. I'm like, man, we'll use that later on. I'll kill motherfucker over some Star Wars right now. God damn it, the fans. I am prejudiced against Star Wars fans. I'm saying that shit right now. Sorry, Ali Ganja. Man, fuck Star Wars fans. Like, y'all don't know what the fuck y'all want. Anyways.
Oh no, I agree.
Yeah, okay. Well, then,
not knowing what we want.
Yeah, but I guess maybe I'm the same way for wrestling, but I don't like wrestling fans either. So holy shit, I don't like anybody. But the thing is,
full of hate, Nick. Come on.
So
he learned well.
Well, there is a little bit of love I have, and I know Justin's probably going to tell me how much these movies suck, and we'll fight over that too. But no, man, apparently, one of the stories I actually have two stories about horror movies-wise. You guys probably saw this boy over here in the mask, in the Michael Myers mask on the thumbnail. But yeah, original Michael Myers actor is returning to Halloween in 2018, just like Jamie Lee Curtis is as well. I don't understand why they can't get... He was a scary Michael Myers back in the day, yes, absolutely. But why do you feel like they're getting these old characters back? Like, you know, Justin, I'm going to actually ask you really quick, you know, just start off, because do you even like horror movies at all, dude?
Yes.
Yes? Well, I don't know. I don't read your diary, sir.
Dude, I don't watch horror movies as religiously as some people do. But again, I like good movies. And if it's a good horror movie, I watch it. You know, like the original Halloween is one of my favorites. It Follows, you know. Old school Alien, you know, I like a lot of great horror movies. Because I remember this is a little bit older a story, right? It's a few weeks back.
Well, no, the Jamie Lee Curtis thing is a little bit old, but this thing barely just came out, I think, about a week ago, and then they're now it's like kind of official at this point. Yeah,
we talked about it on a news podcast I did a while back, but that's the thing I'm curious. It's like, so we're gonna have geriatric Michael Myers chasing people with his walker and gummed up teeth or whatever, or
possibly, you know, I don't know, and. Yeah, man, like, thinking about this as well, it's just like, yeah, I don't really find Michael Myers scary, and I like the idea of how Halloween H2O was basically a fucking, like, you know, almost like an action movie. Like, you know, basically, like, Michael Myers was chasing her, and she was like, no, I'm ready for this motherfucker, let's go. They're, like, you know, right in each other's faces. I actually really like that whole fucking, the cover, when he's looking in the window, and she's looking right back at him, and it's like, it was a really cool movie. Like, Jamie Lee Curtis was the scary one. But the thing is, though, man, it's like at this point they already killed off the character in Halloween Resurrection. You know, like you know she's gone.
Well, because you heard they're rebooting it from the original movie now. All the other ones are not canon except the original film.
Yeah, but that's the thing. It's like, you know, when they did that, like I know like they're rebooting it and you know everything's canon, not canon. I don't know when people say the word canon anymore because it's like nothing is canon. Like they just redo shit. Like you know, like. I mean, just look at fucking DC.
Yeah, technically that crappy Colonial Marines game is canon in the Alien universe. We just pretend it's not anymore.
Yeah, it's just people just I don't know, man. I just think. By the way, too, in the YouTube chat, Red Hawk Keen saying Nick drinks way too much Gatorade. Oh, what did you say, Ruthless?
I said never happened, doesn't exist. That Colonial Marines game. Never happened, doesn't exist.
We don't discuss that game.
What's Colonial Marines?
Oh, it's an alien.
No, I know what it is. I'm just saying, what is it? It doesn't exist, so we don't know, right?
Oh shit!
I got mad. You were about to explain it to her.
I was like,
No,
I was like, please don't make me do this.
remember.
I don't want to talk about this.
Hey,
Please don't
at
make
least
me
I was good with my acting. I sounded like I really didn't know what it was.
You're natural. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. No, fucking alien. No, and I actually really not think we're gonna talk this long about Colonial Marines, by the way, too. Like, I'm very appreciative of this conversation. We're talking about Colonial Marines.
Nick. Boo.
It doesn't exist.
But Halloween, yes.
But Halloween, yeah. Like, I mean, and Kilgore, I'm gonna ask you, man. Like, are you into horror movies at all? Are you into Halloween, Michael Myers?
As for horror movies, I'm more of a traditionalist. Like the Nightmare on Elm Street movies are my personal favorite horror movies.
Yes.
As far as Halloween, it's not a franchise I'm into. I'm sure they're fine movies. It just hasn't been my thing. If this is a good movie, I'll check it out. It's just not a franchise that I'm very connected to, if that makes sense.
That makes sense to me. Yeah, and Ruthless, how about you, man?
I love some good horror, but I also love bad horror movies because I love laughing at them. I haven't been scared of a horror movie since I was a little kid. My mom is a really big horror fan. I was watching R-rated horror movies when I was, 5 and 6 years old. I've never really been scared of horror movies.
That explains so much about you.
I don't get nothing about films bother me. I watched The Godfather for the first time when I was 7 or 8 years old with my mother and one of her friends. It's a movie. I know it's not real, so nothing about them bothers me.
Yeah.
But there is a horror movies series that is getting a revival that I'm actually halfway interested in, and that's The Return of Hellraiser, which I know is going to make Gary very.
No, I actually watched some of this. That shit was actually good.
Yeah, Hellraiser Judgment looks like they might be back to the original formula and aren't just going to go over the top for no reason. It looks like there actually is a story going on this time, which has not happened in a while. So I'm really interested to see what might actually go down.
Well, I saw
it actually looks frightening.
Yeah, and I saw some of the vignettes and everything too. I think I said that wrong. That's vignettes. A weird word. Vignettes.
Vignettes.
Yeah, I said vignettes. Yeah. It's like I should tell it. I love. Actually, no, fuck that. I'm saying vignettes from now on. I like that fucking word. But anyways, the thing is, I saw a bunch of those videos discussing this movie and everything. And they're actually treating this seriously. This is not some B movie type shit. They're actually treating this, with some fucking pride and yeah, it's Hellraiser. He's back. This is some badass shit. And I like the way, I hate to do this, and I'm doing this only because Justin's in here, so he'll have a fucking nerd boner. But I like the way it was shot. You know what I mean? But yeah, man, this looks pretty cool. And I mean, I like horror movie villains. I like the characters of them and whatnot. So, I mean, they're my superheroes personally. So, you know what I mean? That's why I'm still into fucking Jeepers Creepers, even though all that bullshit's going on. So, it is what it is. I like that. And apparently there's some news coming out with Blumhouse. Apparently they want to back Friday the 13th. And I'm loving that fucking idea. Now, do you like Blumhouse at all, Justin?
Again, it's a movie-to-movie basis. Sometimes they put out good stuff, sometimes they put out, just any other horror film they make. But, I mean, I appreciate their business model, the fact that they can produce usually good quality horror on such a cheap budget. Than not. Yeah, so.
Yeah, I mean, because the last thing we watched, and this is actually, well, I mean, it's technically not the last thing we watched because we'll get into that later on when Ganja does his Flex and Chill, and that's going to be interesting.
It's going to be more hate, more fucking hate.
Yeah, it'll be very interesting. Anyways. But the thing is, though, one thing that we watched actually together in a rabbit for one of the watch parties that we have was The Visit. And this shit, they did this horror so fucking well and so minimalistic and so just, I don't even know how much this fucking movie costs. It can be a lot.
Probably about $10 million. I can't imagine more. So.
Grandpa, you trying to kill yourself again?
No, that fucking thing. And the twist was so fucking good, too. That's an M. Night Shyamalan twist that actually fucking worked.
Better than Lady in the Water?
Man. Fuck.
Better than The Happening where there's no twist?
That's the twist. The twist is there's no twist.
The twist is the credits.
Yes, the plants did it. There you go.
No, I thought the twist was the fact that he's talking to fucking plants, and the plants are man. Is that not the twist?
No, it wasn't.
Well, that's the thing is that they spell that out for you in the beginning of the movie. It's like, yeah, the plants did it.
Fuck.
Well, I think about it this way: the way they talk about dialogue over fucking hot dogs, you think the hot dogs were responsible for it?
But yeah, no, but like, you know, Blumhouse, they did The Visit, they did Get Out, which is something that we're about to talk about later on too, and then they did one of my favorite Paranormal Activity movies. I think they did all of them actually, but the one they did that I really loved was the Marked Ones, and I love the atmosphere.
Yes, that's my favorite.
Yeah, it is. Okay, finally somebody else says it, because no one else agrees with me with that shit. But I love the Marked Ones. And I like how it was really, really scary, like especially when you go into the neighbor's apartment and it's like really fucking quiet and like all the clothes are hanging from the fucking you know, I don't know, it was creepy as shit in my opinion. But like with that said, you know, liking that movie, Kilgore, do you feel like this would be a good company to do a Friday the 13th movie, a Jason movie?
Given their business model, I feel they could pull it off. If they, you know, if they get a good script, I'll give them a chance. I believe they can pull it off.
Yeah, man, because I fucking love me some Jason Voorhees, but the thing is, I always felt, and there were some talks about this back in like 2013, where they wanted to do a movie where it was handheld, and basically it's like Paranormal Activity, and Jason's like fucking around people chasing him and shit like that.
If anything, Nick, I'd want them to try to do, you know, another Nightmare on Elm Street movie down the line. If they could get that together, I'd love for Blumhouse to give that a shot.
No, I would love that shit. And like, you know, here's Jason doing his thing, just like fucking people up and everything, or just standing ominously looking at shit. But yeah, man, like I said, dude, I'm not the hugest fan of Jason. I just like the character of him. I hate his movies. That's what I meant to say. I don't like the movies. I just like him. And I feel like Blumhouse can actually make me like a movie for once. Now, Ruthless, I'm gonna ask you, man. Are you a fan of Blumhouse at all? And are you a fan of Jason?
You know, I don't. I guess a lot of people have a problem with them because of how cheaply they make a lot of the movies. But I actually like that they make directors get really creative with the films. Sometimes it doesn't work out. We have plenty of examples. But when it works, it really fucking works. And I think them doing Jason, I don't know so much with Freddy because I feel like you probably need a bit more effects since Freddy's supernatural in the first place. Right. But I feel like with Jason, yeah, man, in fact, I would love to see a movie that doesn't follow the victims. It follows Jason taking out the victims. Ooh, not necessarily handheld, but like from Jason's perspective, you know. I think that'd be an interesting twist that they could do as Blumhouse and still not be that expensive. Because no one's watching a Jason movie for high-end actors, man. I want to see him kill some unsuspecting like teens or college kids, whichever one you want to go with. And I don't want him in space. I don't need him going to hell and coming back. I don't need any boat trips to Manhattan. Just give me Jason, Crystal Lake, and some fucking murders. Like let's get back to the point here. I think Blumhouse could give you exactly that. Yeah,
man. And wow, I'm actually really surprised at the chat right now. Like even Red Robot King saying Blumhouse rules, etc. And actually, Al, I'm gonna ask you because you're a big movie fan and everything like that. Do you like Blumhouse at all?
I like some of his movies, I guess. Like, I mean, Get Out is part of Blumhouse, right? So yeah sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh god, that was so bad. Look at that fucking head.
I love that.
Oh Jesus.
I still love the part where like those teenagers are just on their boombox and they have the music and it's just like this obnoxious music and he just comes by and he just like, what is it? Did he kick the trash can or did he kick the boombox or something? Or they were doing something. Man, it was so funny. And then like he took off his mask because they were like, "Hey man, what's up?" And they were like, "Oh, okay, well, never mind."
Yeah, get that shit the fuck out of here.
Yeah. Yeah,
no, here it is right here too. He just walks by, he's like, get the fuck out of here.
Gary walking downtown.
Yeah, basically Gary's like, get us out of here, bitch.
He's like, "Oh, I have a knife."
What
like,
you want from me, bitch? I got something.
What that?
Look into the eyes of fear.
Oh, good
Don't
Lord.
let that movie fool you. 90% of it is on a boat. Do not watch that movie, people.
The Manhattan part felt like a whole other movie. Like, I thought like once they got off the boat, I'm like, okay, it's done. Wait, what? There's another hour left? What? Like, like The Last Jedi. Okay, anyway.
Oh man, fuck The Last Jedi. God damn it, I hate that fucking movie.
Yeah, it sucks.
Man. Yeah, no, it really But we'll see
Am
what
I the only one here who liked it?
Yes.
Holy shit! Actually, before we continue on, I'm gonna let you have, because there might be somebody out there that actually likes this shit. You know, not to be insulting to you, but you sell us on it. Like, what did you like about it? Just, I want to give the other side an opinion.
What are you talking to me, Nick?
Yeah. Like, as far as like the Last Jedi. Yeah, like, what did you like about it?
This is a little awkward to say because I'm a Star Trek fan first and foremost, but I did enjoy that. I enjoyed that this movie took risk, and some of those risks were difficult, but they were. What's with that noise?
Yeah, let me lower it really quick. Let me see. Okay, yeah, it's off. All right, go ahead.
No, but to sum it up, look, I enjoyed most of the characters and the plot. I get that some of the risks were controversial. That's what made me appreciate the movie. That was finally a Star Wars movie that I didn't predict what would happen next. So that's what I personally appreciated of it.
Yeah, no, I mean, like I said, I'm glad that somebody else can say something good about it. You know, like, that's actually cool. And really quick though, you do have some background noise, but I think we should be good. Aaron, how you doing, bro? Oh shit!
No, you muted him. You muted him.
You muted him. I can't unmute him.
You.
No, I didn't mute him. I just took his volume down, but I moved it back up. But I think he's muted. Like, I'm trying to undo it, but it's not working.
Hold on. Let's plug it in and plug it out, and let's see if that works.
Yeah.
Man, he gone. Oh man, sorry
Plug
about
the
that.
headphone in and out and in and again and see. If
Yeah. Just leave the call and come back in.
In and out. In and out.
Yeah.
Damn, yeah.
I'm talking about the restaurant. What are you talking about?
I don't know, man. I'm just saying in and out. That's the best thing ever. So, anyways. I don't know what the fuck. Stupid. I know. Aaron's over here laughing like, oh, man, if you can hear me, I'm laughing at your dumbass. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm an idiot. But moving on, though.
Aaron, sign language us what your opinion is.
Face palm off.
Okay, I want you to write your opinion down on some note cards and then show them to us slowly at the end of Love Actually.
Just take the note cards every time you want to have an opinion.
I just want you to know that to me, Last Jedi was priceless.
Oh yeah, it was definitely priceless.
Yeah, I want my money back.
Money at
I
all.
mean,
I'm so sorry, Aaron. God damn, man. I never had this guy on. Now he's on. I can't hear his ass. But you're awesome, bro. Moving on, though. And this, I'm going to try not to talk too much because I'm going to get real fucking mad. Because Ganja is, fucking nervous with shit, dude. Yeah.
I will show you the way.
Why are you into this meme?
Shit. I know it's a shitty meme, y'all, and I know Cedric gave me shit in the chat. I know this, but I love this fucking Knuckles fucking meme. I know it's horrible. I know it's probably based on some racism as well.
No, it is.
But
what is this?
They're making fun of Ugandan people, dude.
All right, hold on. We all watched Double Toast to make fun of that fucking killing Captain Alex move. All right, that's not all.
Yeah, that was racist too.
What the?
I love this, man. It is literally turned into a life of its own. It's got music videos. They're making parodies now. Like, and it's all from these three fucking catchphrases. Let me show you the way. She is the queen. And then random click sounds, and then just talking just like a random, like, real thick Ugandan accent. And this just took the internet by storm. I see it everywhere, man.
Yeah, I see it too.
It looks like Knuckles swallowed one of those giant M&Ms. You know, like the guys in the commercial.
Yeah. He does exist.
Peanut butter.
I just, it's one of those weird things for me that kind of caught my eye, man. It was the same way with fucking Harambe with this one. It's just such a stupid meme. It has no reason to exist. Yeah, the gorilla was killed and he was innocent and all that. But honestly, there was no reason to whip my dick out for him. How's that honoring Harambe by whipping out my human penis? But it was great as a joke, and it fucking ran long, and I think this is going to be one of those jokes that run off forever. Like, I have a feeling that I'm going to be in, like, 4 months, I'm going to be standing next to Nick at the next anniversary party or next DT event. I'm just going to be whispering into ears, I will show you the way. I will show you the way, Nick.
Wait, what the fuck? You have
I will make you queen.
This is terrible. Like, I'm looking at the DT chat over here. Yeah, like, for one, if you don't know the way, you have to get. That doesn't make no sense. Fucking, and then Skull actually he helped me out over here. Wait, what does it say? Sorry about that. This is the Uganda.
This is the Ugandan Sonic. So you better know the way. But did you
dumb, stupid. But Skull's saying it's actually based on Captain Alex, no lie. So, like, wait, is it really based on that? Like, it's just like some kind of fan.
That's what I hear from it. Other people tell me that it's just a bunch of white kids on VR chat trying to be racist, which I don't fucking. It's the internet. I don't doubt that either. But the thing is, like, this is kind of like spawned its own thing. And I'm seeing another thing with 2 other memes that became popular. One, what the fuck up is with people eating Tide Pods. Like, who invented that? What? Why did that become popular?
Tide Pods.
And specifically the orange and the blue ones, because I think they make people think of Fanta for some reason. And I don't know why this has become a thing. I see people smoking these pods now. I see people eating them, gourmet. I saw one person put it on pizza.
Oh. My bad here. Yeah, these
like things. This shit. I have no idea. It's gone so far that I've seen anime women that are literally cosplaying as Tide.
Well, that's because somebody decided they wanted to create a, like, they do the different like drawings of like Earth Chan and all that shit. So they did one for the Tide Pods. Well, they did one for the Tide Pods, and then for some bleach and some other shit. It's fucking stupid. Just you can't account for stupid, man. You can't account for stupid.
I'm trying to, and it's not helping me on the show. What were you gonna say, Kilgore?
No, I was gonna say, like, if you've gone this far in life and you don't know that it's wrong to have Tide, then there's nothing more I can do for you.
Yeah,
I say we encourage this and start thinning out the idiots from society.
Yeah, thin out the fucking herd.
Like, he's saying that, but I followed this page on Facebook that's for like potheads that share information, they share photos, they share like videos of them doing dumb shit with weed. And this kid's like, yo, I'm gonna smoke a Tide stick. And he literally pulls out the Tide Pods, not a Tide stick, but a Tide Pod, crashes it on his dabber and smokes it. And I swear to God, everybody on that group waited like 2 to 3 hours. And we finally got the update. Yeah, he's in the hospital. He's in severe condition. We don't know if he'll make it to the next day. Like, there are people literally killing themselves with this shit, bro.
Yeah, man.
That's the benefit to that, man.
Yo,
what's up, Aaron?
They remove themselves from the gym.
Yes, we can hear you just fine. Finally, my boy's here. He's like, man, he's about goddamn time. Hey, man, you ever ate Tide Pods?
What the hell is that?
That.
You know Tide Pods, but that shit that you throw in the laundry that looks like candy.
Yeah, man.
The stuff that you wash your clothes with.
Bleach.
Bleach. It's delicious, man. You'll like it. Look at that shit. Don't you just want to put your hand in there right now? It's like,
that's just like super toxic, isn't it?
Yes, it's very toxic. Yeah.
Yeah, he's like,
it's so toxic that people are trying to put on their gourmet food and smoke it. This is where we got with internet culture, to the point that these memes are taking a life on their own and becoming in marketing campaigns. Because I'm pretty sure motherfuckers went out and bought Tide after this. And I want to see the numbers of people, like, from when the meme started of eating Tide sticks to the number of people that actually went and bought this product afterwards.
Yeah, man, it's just fucking ridiculous. I mean, but the thing is, like, I know we're talking about Tide Pods now, and it's like, what the fuck? But, like, I'm just at a point now, honestly, where I was like, dude, ganja, like, this shit with the memes, it is going way too fucking far.
And you know what's fucked up, Nick? I take advantage of every one of them. I think every time these new meme fads pop off, I'm the first one posting them in our private goalie hangouts together. Like the Earth Chan one that Rufus brought up earlier, I love using that to mess with Alan because he does not like the idea of people using science to make hentai with.
Wait, hentai with science?
Dude, they are literally got, all right, there's the harem of planets now out there. And it's the Mars, Jupiter, Venus, and they're all sexified as anime girls. And to the point that there's actual hentai out now. People are jerking off to the planet Earth, folks.
I mean, that's good.
I mean, I've heard stories like that, like people who have sex with dirt and that stuff. Like, that's a whole culture.
Yeah, but that's actually, like, they're actually physically loving the planet at that moment. Like, there's a bond between you and nature. This is just you jerking off some weebs drawing.
I can't. Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, Tai-Chan looks like a child, which doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Hey, you want to talk about a Lolita complex? Hang out with the anime groups.
Yeah.
Oh man, no! I swear, I hate this shit. I hate this shit so very fucking much.
You can tell Nick is afraid to show the photo that's sitting in the DT chat.
Wait,
what's in the DT chat?
The photo of Tai-Chan.
Oh shit! No, here it is. No, there it is, right there. Tai-Chan, that is fucking unfortunate. Though, does she not look like fucking?
That one by Dijon, that could be real marketing campaign. I could see that on like the actual fucking commercial Twitter page.
Yeah, man. No, but But this girl, does she not look like Harley Quinn though? Like honestly, and this could be.
That's the whole thing. Like they're drawing these anime chicks out of fucking brand name. Like I remember when Wendy was the big thing. Like everyone was trying to sexify the Wendy character, and now it's got to the point that people are jacking off to the solar system.
I mean, dude, at least someone gives a fuck about the solar system.
Oh, I was saying those progressive commercials with that cartoon character we used to have. They had to get rid of her because people kept making porn out of that cartoon character.
That wasn't progressive. That was e-shirts.
E-shirts, that's right.
Yeah. E-shirts, yeah.
I was about to say, hold on, you telling me progressive got
rid of sexy? Flo for progressive?
No, they got rid of sexy ass Flo because people were drawing porn cartoons over it. Man, they should have knew what was gonna happen then.
No. Yeah, so the progressive, I mean, not e-shirts. That's the one they had to replace. They're like, it's turned into this weird porn culture thing, and it just like that's not what we intended with this car insurance commercial.
It's like, yo, these sales are sexy as fuck. Like these savings.
Yo, man, I'll come to get insurance. Like, do I get a special photograph if I get the insurance?
Do not type in Aaron's insurance, even if you have safe search on. Oh God,
it got that bad. Holy shit!
Yes,
it's that bad.
Damn, I'm curious to look this up myself later. Look at God,
I might have some research and development later for future episodes or not.
Good lord. For science. Yeah, topics on the show. Google Docs. Yeah. But the thing is, it's that time, y'all. It's that time, and I'm not gonna do a big fucking thing here. Okay, it's fucking flex and chill. Okay, there it is. Boom, yeah.
Yay! But I don't have a picture, and who the fuck is clicking on their keyboard like a motherfucker right now?
I'm sorry, that's me. I got my PS4 I'm playing right now too. So.
Damn.
I'm getting into the mood. I'm getting the right mindset here.
No, literally. Man. So here's the thing. I'm just gonna rip this off like a band-aid. Just rip, gotcha. So what did we watch last night?
All right, last night we actually saw a movie that a lot of people have been telling us to go see, and it was one of the things that a lot of people were disappointed that we did not put it on our best of list or worst of list. Either way, they were just unhappy we did not mention it at all. We actually went and saw Get Out last night.
Mm-hmm.
Man, do you want to pull up the trailer so we can just ease into this review before we just completely make everyone mad at us?
Hey,
that's the exact face he's making at me towards my opinion right now.
If you want to ease in, you can let the white guy take the blame first.
Yeah, Jesse.
Oh, yeah, throw it in. Yeah.
The movie's good.
Okay, fuck it. No, go ahead, Justin. What are you saying?
It's good. It's very well made. It's not the classic everyone is making it out to be, but it's a very well made movie. I mean, maybe this isn't as negative as you guys are gonna be, which I'm surprised. But it's like, yeah, good acting, good writing. Wasn't crazy about the twist in the end with how it genre swapped at the end, pretty much. Not going to spoil that.
Oh, and by the way, really quick before we continue, and just so you can continue your point, Justin, if you don't want to be spoiled, leave. But we're spoiling the fuck out of this. I'm sorry.
Okay. It's an Academy nominated film. It's been up for how many accolades? Been talked about all up and down.
Oscars haven't happened yet. The
nominations they haven't nominated.
Not the Oscars, but I know small festivals and small little publishers have been getting awards. Yeah, stuff like that. So if you guys haven't seen it at this point, it's kind of on your fault at this point. So if you really are trying to go into this movie completely just oblivious to how the story goes or what the end is about, y'all should leave now. But honestly, most of our audience fucking seen this movie.
Yeah. But no, so Justin, continue on what you're going to say, actually, especially about the ending, because, I mean, I'm about to bring that up anyway, so go right ahead, dude.
Yeah, no, that's my biggest point with this. I mean, I get what racial politics is trying to make, and it's interesting the way that it's about white liberal racism as opposed to just the rednecky kind. It's like, oh no, the people who are way too nice about it are just as racist as anybody else, in a way. And this guy Danny Kaluuya is really good. All the actors are really great. I love seeing Catherine Keener in anything. I just did wish that it stayed a horror movie, because once it goes into a sci-fi film at the end, where you're like, oh, this is what's actually happening. You're like, yeah. So it's a high rent it for me, but saying it's still very fun and watchable, and especially impressive for a first time filmmaker. But that kind of thing.
Yeah, and to continue on really quick, just before we even do our thing, Ruthless, I'm going to have you review it really quick. I mean, I know you probably already said your opinions on this before, but really quick, like, what do you feel about this movie still to this day? How many times have you watched it? What do you think about it?
I've watched it probably 4 times. That's just like me. Like I saw it on my own without other folks around, because sometimes I just don't want to see movies with a bunch of friends. And then of course I've watched it with some other people at different points. Really good movie. Obviously I've been a big supporter of the film, hoping it gets nominated for stuff it gets nominated for. And also I like that Jordan Peele kind of lent on his own personal experience for a lot of the way the movie's approached. I don't know that it's best picture, but it's damn near deserves to be nominated for it. It's one of those ones like you don't expect it to win, but you want it to get all these accolades. So yeah, I mean, I'm fine with it. I'm not gonna make it a. No, I did buy it on Blu-ray. So yeah, but like I bought it on Blu-ray because I didn't know it was gonna get on the streaming sites. Wait, so I just bought it on Blu-ray. We bought it on Blu-ray. I'd say yeah, like rent it, stream it. Okay. Either one of those. If you can get on a service that you already own, definitely watch it. If you need to do the Amazon rental thing, it's definitely at that level, very high. If you haven't seen it, I guess I can't really tell you to buy it. If it's your first time, like I said, it's rented. If you've already seen it once, then yeah, you need to go ahead and buy it. I don't know why you haven't bought it. Yeah. It's a good movie. It's a good movie. It's a good movie to show people. Like you can, unlike Blade Runner, I think you can watch this with a group of people and it not ruin the movie. So it's definitely
also
own it.
Yeah. Also, just to point it out for people who mentioned in the chat, Get Out is not a comedy. It's got
thank you,
but it is not a comedy.
We'll get into that right now because, man, this is the thing that pissed me the fuck off in this movie, and we'll get into that right now. But yeah. Put a / symbol there. It's a horror comedy, and I'll tell you why. And it kills the fucking movie for me. But Allie, before you even continue on, before I get mad, because that pisses me the fuck off. But what did you feel about the movie, sweetheart?
As our official member of the Black delegation,
I very much appreciated it. I thought as much as I'm sure Nick and Gans are going to get into it. I thought Daniel Kaluuya was excellent. I really bought his character. Felt like real reactions. I think any of us would react in the situation. And I really love the cleverness of it. I will say, yes, I do agree with Justin on like when it became more sci-fi oriented. That's where it kind of lost me a little bit. Because honestly, with Corey Martin and all of them saying like, oh man, I've watched this movie like 8 times. I'm like, I don't think it's really like a movie I could watch again and again. It's just that last part, that climax, is just kind of takes it down for me. I still do think it's one of the best movies of last year, and that's why it did make my top 10 list. I think it was like number 7 or something like that. But no, it definitely, I think it's very tight, like the way the script is. I thought the pacing was actually pretty good, like the build up to it. So yeah, I definitely, it's a unique movie. That's what I really love, is that it's very unique. You don't see that often, and it's not stereotyping in any way. And I did find, actually, yes, it's not a comedy, but there are some comedic elements, and I actually felt like they worked. But then you're also like, there's just always this uneasiness in the air, and I think it achieved what it wanted to achieve. So yeah, I definitely would buy it.
Okay, so here's the thing. I'm gonna start this off, Ganja.
After you, Nick.
The biggest thing that drove me up the fucking wall, and this dude is my movie version of Roman fucking Reigns. I fucking despise this guy. I really.
The main character?
Yeah. Daniel Kaluuya, or whatever stupid fucking name
Daniel
is.
Kaluuya.
This dude does not emote. He does not. And I know that the big thumbnail is like, holy shit, we got him to act. He has tears. Oh my god, we got an actor to fucking act for once. For one, I know they probably poked his fucking eyes and got some kind of like water shit to come down. Those are probably not real tears, because in Black Mirror, and anything else I've seen this dude in. What, Justin? What?
He actually can do that, apparently. Cry on command. Apparently.
Really?
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, shit. For me...
sorry to clip your wings. I'm just saying fact.
No, well, I mean, that's the thing. Like, fact that someone's told you. Like, I'm sure, honestly, I can. I'm not the best actor in the world, though, Justin. It was a joke. Like, you know what I mean? Like I'm not making $5 million a fucking day, you know, for my being able to cry on command. You need to.
But that doesn't take away the
Nick,
fact that
maybe
you
you
don't
should
like.
stop doing this and try out.
No, because I'm not a good actor,
auditions, man.
No, because I don't have any talent. Like crying on command, I don't feel like it's a talent. You know, Dallas Bryce Howard can do that shit. She did that on Conan when she was building up Jurassic World thing. I didn't go, oh my god, look at Bryce, she can cry. You know what? I'm gonna watch Jurassic World because she can do shit. It's like, well, why don't you do shit in the fucking Jurassic World movie though, and not let the dinosaurs run all over your ass and be much more entertaining. And this movie, this dude does not do that. He barely talks. There's situations where, and maybe it could be the writing, and I mean, I love Jordan Peele. I think Jordan Peele is one of the fucking smartest dudes that's in comedy or in movie making or anything. Him, I don't know. I really like to do it a lot. But it's like, this character is written bad or it was written good, and this dude can't do shit because he's terrible, that they just said, fuck it, you know what? Don't have any lines then. Just forget it. Man, the fucking dude, right in the beginning, one thing that really triggered the fuck out of me, especially in today's climate with like cops killing black people and etc. Tell me why this dude was just totally like, okay, when the cop pulls him over and his fucking white girlfriend's like, yo, hey, you can't fucking tell him that, you can't do this, you can't do that, you can't treat him that way, and then he just gets in the passenger side of the car and acts like he just stumped his fucking toe. Why does he not give a shit? Why is a situation...
Because he got away with it.
Because he doesn't want to die, Nick.
Yeah.
No, but after the car,
he's
though.
talking about his reaction.
I've been in
to
that
his
exact
girlfriend.
situation before.
No,
And it's
I know,
like,
but
yeah,
after
could
that...
you please shut the fuck up? Because he's not going to touch you. He's going to shoot me. Can you please stop
But
now?
I'm talking about after that. I said that 3 times. Like, after that. After when they're driving away. He didn't tell her off. He didn't say, hey, look what you just did there. You almost got my ass killed.
Because I'm going to yell at the white girl in the car who's driving me?
I would have.
After the cops?
She
This is
almost
like,
killed him.
I don't know if
I
that
would've-
cop
I
is still
would've gone-
behind us right now. Like,
I would have gone on off her ass as soon as I saw the cops pull
You
off.
had an
I would have been like,
argument at
what
home.
the fuck is wrong with you? Trying to start a fight with a cop. You know I got weed in the glove compartment.
Yeah, like, just because she's
we
white,
had a
you
fight
can't
at home
yell at her ever.
where she's not driving the car that could kill us both.
I forget that.
Well, even at
Yeah.
that point, just be like, hey, yo, let me take the driver's seat. And then if she says no and she's being fucking argumentative, guess what? She's probably a psycho, which, by the way, in the fucking movie, she ends up being a psycho anyways. So it's like, there's so many things in here, especially the way she talks to his best friend, the way she's acting, the way she doesn't want to tell him at all that her family is a fucking racist psychopath fucking family. There's so many hints that the movie and her give the character and us that she's a fucking psychopath and that she's a racist chick too. And he just, you know, he'd rather just go, oh, crazy. Oh, man. Oh, well, hey, crazy. Like, the same thing for 2 hours. Just, oh, man. Oh. Like, is that all you can do? I don't even remember what his voice sounds like, man. He doesn't talk. Like,
You know what? Nick, you're kind of, people are like you're exaggerating, but I honestly agree with you. Like the character himself, like I really did not see that much emotive from him, even when he was reacting to some of the elements. Because me and 90s actually talked about this earlier, who was one of our old co-hosts, because he's always wanted to watch the movie. He wanted to know our opinions on it, and I was talking to him earlier, and he kind of agreed with me that the dude has like these two kind of sets of emotion. He's got like, oh, this is kind of weird, smile, and then he's got like, ha, smiles.
yeah.
And there's no different variation between how he reacts to the situation until like the last hour, maybe to the last 45 of the movie, where he starts realizing stuff is really crazy. Before that, I kind of get how some people that aren't really paying attention to it because he is a comedy, because he does make these comedic reactions. Like, for example, like when he walked in and realized how crazy the lady is, like, okay, that's weird. And you get like little moments of that, but they're not all throughout the film. Most of the time, he's just smiling and letting stuff happen to him, and the other characters around him are reacting. The only times we really get at him like really reacting to stuff is, like I said, when you get the last 45 minutes of the movie and the mystery starts jumping up and he's starting to figure out stuff. He started to wonder what's wrong with his family. He wants to get out, you know, quote unquote, the movie. And that's when you start to get an idea of who the character is, and it gives us more personality, because then you also go into his fact about his mother, which gives him more in depth. But before that, he is literally just a blank slate, just kind of having these two basic reactions throughout the whole thing that's happening to him. And one of the things that was explained to me by the person we were watching this film is that's kind of how it is when you're the only person being in a family of white folks for the first time. But that's the thing. Like, I've been in this situation myself, being a Native American. I've been the only Native American where they do these like sort of kind of quasi-racial humor like, oh man, I wish I wish I could go and see what your people had the land like back in the day, or oh my god, you're Native American, do you live in a teepee? Like, I got all of that, the whole metaphors of like what you have to pull up with these people that are quote unquote liberal but are still have these racial and stereotypes about them when they're in conversation with the people of the actual race. But his reaction to a lot of stuff wasn't realistic. It was more in the sense of just like blank or laughing and just throwing it off. And I felt like if the character reacted a little bit more and had a little bit more dialogue rather than just being the quiet boyfriend to the last hour or 45-minute mark, I think I would enjoy the character a lot more because he felt very hollow to me.
Yeah, and really quick, just to respond, because I want to get the YouTube chat in here as well, just, responding to people. And Chris Brown makes a great point, it's not just, well, fuck Nick, but his point is he's saying, like, I remember people talking in Blade Runner 2049, and I didn't knock it for that. And by the way, too, like, why he's bringing that up is that I gave that a really high score on my thing, and I totally agree with Chris Brown. But the thing is, though, is that movie has a lot of other shit going for it. It's not taking place in just a house. It's a whole fucking world, and there's explosions, and there's cool shit going on, and there's big fight scenes. This movie does not have that, so it needs to give me something. If I don't have...
and then to go back to what Chris Brown is saying, that the guy gets quiet in those situations. He does get quiet, and I get that for the awkward situation, but he does these moments like that. He's just smiling along through a lot of the stuff that I feel he's not giving any really reaction to it. And I don't know if that was on par of how the character was supposed to portray those scenes or just his interaction with the white folks. But I felt like he was just kind of a blank slate, just like this mannequin there half the time. He was either really smiling, really happy, or he was just giving this like one look that he gave in the trailer was like, okay, that was a little weird. And from what 90s told me, that character, the actor kind of does that. Like, he doesn't really... Julie, you said Justin, you say he's a good actor, but from what I got from 90s, because he's seen him in Black Mirror, he said that's kind of what he does in a lot of his acting gigs. He's very just that kind of that one emotion, like happy or really confused kind of a face set. And that's probably just how the range of the emotions for the movie made him do it. And he's probably a better actor when he's given a better script or better ways to emote. But that's what I got out of the character. And I felt like the movie was very slow paced. How about you, Nick?
No, I feel the same way. And the one thing, too, I want to bring up, because I know people are going to be saying this as well, but, like, one thing that really bothered me about this character as well is people, and Allie said this as well when we were talking about it last night, it's like, this is an awkward situation. That's how we would act as well. But it's like, okay, you're saying that, but if it's a realistic situation, nobody would still fucking be in his house. Like... it's always a big stereotypical joke when there's white people in a horror movie and it's like, yo, if it was a black person, they'd get the fuck out of there. Why didn't he get the fuck out of here? Like, he literally got hypnotized. He had one of the workers, which, by the way, it's so obvious they have slaves as soon as the movie starts. As soon as they get to the house, there's black workers all over the fucking place. And then he treat them bad, too. The dad's trying to tell him, like, oh, no, it's just a worker that works here. He treats them like shit, treats the girl like shit. But yet, no, they're not slaves, though. No, not at all. This guy can't put the fuck shit together. So what, is his character fucking retarded or something? Like, I don't get it. So then on top of it, though, on top of that is, he gets hypnotized. He goes to the sunken place. He goes through all this crazy shit, wakes up in the room, doesn't remember anything that happened the night before, didn't drink or anything. So, like, there's no reasons why he'd go through some other shit. And even though his girl is acting weird and he has a weird conversation with one of the workers, he still stays? After all that shit, he still goes, huh, oh, that's weird. Oh, hey, everyone's fucking crazy here. Anyways, time for dinner. Like, what the fuck? This is fucking stupid.
See, I actually got that motivation. I don't know if you guys want to explain it further, anybody in the chat or anybody inside the call right now.
We can talk about that, but that's a long-standing issue inside the community about interracial relationships. There's a lot of black men who sort of pass over very clear racist overtones by the women they date and will apologize for it in front of you, and give them a pass for it for whatever reason. And that was kind of one of the things that Peele's addressing, because I think people think that because he's biracial and because he's married to a white woman that he is doing the same thing. That's why he brought it up in the film the way he did. It's kind of always been a thing. Like, I can remember as a kid, that was something that you don't, a white girl to blah 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 event was said to most people who were around me when I was in high school. I can remember in college that being a thing as well. So this whole like apologizing for the racist actions of the family the girl deals with and sticking around despite clear things that should be telling you to leave. That's Jordan Peele trying to address something that isn't talked about outside of inner circles.
And not only that, it goes into interracial dating. Like when you meet families that are different culture or different racial backgrounds for you, and it's very completely different from your own, you do get that awkward vibe of where should I let this slide? Is it just how they are? Is it just their culture, or just how this family operates? You know, I could just be the out of my now, and I just don't realize it. Like there's a lot of things that I could see him like letting stuff slide, especially with the family workers all being black. He could have just been like, oh, his mom, his parents were probably a little racist, so they had black help. And he kept them around because he liked them. That he wanted to be a good employer and a friend to them, and he just kept them a hire. Like, there's a lot of stuff that happens to the character that I want more reaction from. I don't doubt that. I don't knock that in your criticism. But I agree with Ruthless and all of them that he does let it slide because it's those awkward situations that you don't know if they're necessarily dangerous or they're just awkward because this is how the family operates, and I don't understand them yet as people. And that is kind of why it puts him in such of a scary position, because the whole time this is why it's against it's not against liberal people, but it's a criticism against them, because they're still somewhat cool with black culture and the black people in general that keeps them there, but they still should reveal all these racism and stereotype beliefs that they have, to the point that the dad makes a joke that his grandfather couldn't let it go that he lost to Jesse Owens, and that's supposed to let you a hint that they are some quote unquote liberals, but they're the liberals that are for the sake of keeping the face of like, oh, I'm a progressive person. And when you actually get to know the family, you realize how much stereotypes, how many of the racial prejudice they actually do believe. And he's trying to let that slide off because he does want to date the daughter. And that's an actual criticism of real relationships that this does occur.
Yeah, and
one thing that we really got to address real fast. I would have left her the moment I saw her eat cereal separate from milk.
Yeah, yeah.
Whoa, hold on, son.
No. As a guy,
I'm good. Something's up with you. I'm out.
I eat dry cereal. I'm just saying that is a perfectly normal behavior.
But eating dry cereal and eating cereal separate from the milk like that's two different things.
When you have milk right by you and you decide not to mix it into your cereal, that is suspect.
Yeah. But
I don't eat macaroni and cheese by having the macaroni in one plate and the cheese in another. Like, come on. It's so just weird,
Why
fam.
are you doing that? No.
I mean, it is macaroni and cheese. It's not macaroni with cheese or, you know.
Yeah, you know what it is. Stop trying to
I'm having deconstructed cereal. Nah, bitch, you crazy. I'm out.
That's actually goes into another point I want to bring up. The metaphors, guys, like, this was really metaphor of the movie. Like,
everyone movie like it's really smart. It's talking about things that we all kind of know. I mean, maybe there are some topics there that aren't obvious to people who are not in the black culture, but it's not subtle about it, really. I mean, it
isn't.
Okay, see, now that's
it's right there. So
I think that's where we disagree, because and maybe I'm just a dumbass. Maybe I was really tired the first time because I watched this twice.
Or maybe you just didn't grow up in the South like I did.
Okay, maybe that's it. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I know someone's going to call me a dumbass, so I'm just going to admit to it before they call me it. But, like, the thing is like, and I want to throw this out there, too. I've never been through any of this, you know, the racial, like, what Chris's character is going through. So it's like, maybe that's where I'm coming from this, like, what the fuck? Because, yeah, it's a weird situation for me. But at the same time, though, the metaphors, like I had to watch it twice to get the metaphors. So I mean, I don't know if that was the way it was for you guys. Like, Ruthless, did you have to watch it more than once to get the metaphors, or?
No, because
okay,
I've been in relationships before, so I was like, yep, remember this moment. Yep,
well,
I know that.
There was even non-relationship moments too. Like there was just a lot of metaphors just in general of just like black versus white or racist white people.
There a lot of, because of the circles that I've run in, a lot of the stuff that goes on in this movie, I was just going like, oh man, I remember when this happened. It's exactly like this. So
yeah. I had 3 out of those 5 moments. I never had the one where the girl literally just preyed on me because I was Native American for my sexual appetite. Like, I never had that happen. I wish that was a stereotype. I wish we could promote that, but I never had that one happen to me.
Yeah, but you know what I mean? Was it too much for you guys, just the metaphors? Because for me, it was very it wasn't big.
For me, because the thing is, that's why I grew up in the South, so a lot of these metaphors are either play on like racial terminology or racist slang that people throw at each other down in the South, like down to the point that separating the colors from the whites. That with her milk and her cereal, like that, to me, that was like way too obvious. It got me a little mad. I'm not gonna get lied about the fact. But the thing is, like, to go to your point, Nick, you're somebody who wasn't really raised up in this real racial culture, so you don't get all the metaphors.
I just never been in a relationship with the.
Well, no, that, like you were saying, like some of the metaphors actually escaped you a little bit as well because of that.
Yeah, well, It's just like one thing I always stuck with, because the metaphors, I mean, honestly, I just feel like they're brilliantly placed. Like, that's the only good thing I have to say about the movies. Is I feel like for instance, when he's on the chair and he's strapped to the chair and he's picking at the chair to get out, and that's him picking cotton. Like stuff like that. I didn't catch that. I had to like watch it twice to get like, oh, like that's why he's zooming in on his hands. You know what I mean? Or the TV set saying like the brain is a terrible thing to waste. And it was actually for the. It was something. I forgot what the metaphor is, but I've heard that before. I've heard that in.
I think it was a reference to how mainstream media rots your brain or some shit like that. That's what I got that as.
Well, no, it was a racial thing. It wasn't just that. It was a racial thing.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
it was
also
Black People
a
reference
college.
to the United Negro College Fund, which has its tagline as "The mind is a terrible thing to waste."
Yeah. Okay, I see. I didn't get that metaphor. Then I thought that was just a criticism of white media and how that sometimes gets you to act against your own idea of what your culture should be. That's why
also true, but of course it's also a reference directly to what's happening in the film.
Okay, that's what I perceived it as. So I made more of a deeper metaphor than it was there, but. My problem with it, like a lot of the metaphors, they felt very stand out. To the point is when you're like you mentioned the scene where you're driving into the I'm just gonna call it plantation because that bitch looked like a plantation house. The plantation, and you see like the black workers there. It's literally set up to like when you're watching one of those old history biopics when they show off the plantation and they show off the different type of slaves on the fields. And it was very I felt like the metaphors were a little too obvious for me to the point that it kind of turned me off a little bit.
Mm-hmm. I mean,
I wanted more subtle and more like thought provoking. That we had a conversation that we realized, oh, that was what the metaphor was. A lot of this felt like really on the nose, but I kind of get that. That's probably what Jordan Peele was getting at, because wasn't this movie also to appeal to white audience and teach them like this is kind of like how we perceive this white liberal like fake PC culture as?
I mean, I don't know if that's the case. Like I said, I don't want to speak for anybody. You know what I mean? As far as
I was asking, Ali and Ruthless mostly for that question.
I mean. A lot of what he was doing is for that point is to kind of to put to the forefront of their mind, that liberal racism that they don't quote unquote realize that they're doing kind of situation. So you kind of have to beat people over the head a little bit, or else they don't recognize stuff.
Yeah. And the one thing to just discuss as well is like, and we'll get to the ending right now as well, because like the ending.
The ending was fucking badass.
Okay, well, I mean, leading to the ending was badass, and I'm mad about that too. But we'll get to that. But like one thing, because it's bridging metaphors back to the ending, because the last metaphor of the movie was basically like when the cop car showed up, and even though he needs a cop, he needs someone to help him. The thing is, he's black, so him with his hands around a white girl's throat, it's like he's a bad guy. Like the cop car came up, and he was like, "Fuck, I gotta put my hands up right now, even though I need this motherfucker's help." Like, you know what I mean? And I think that was like a pretty cool metaphor to do. And it would have been great if something like it was one last bad guy, the big boss, a white cop. That would have been, and I think that was the alternate ending. Apparently, I didn't watch the alternate ending. But
no, that is the alternate ending. I kind of wish they went with it.
No, they would have, and they should have, because if they would have went with that ending, then you just told your story, like the whole reason why you're making this movie, and the dialogue that you're bringing up and everything, and the metaphors, that you finished it. You know what I mean? Like this is why a white person should watch the movie. But instead, it was his friend who's been making jokes the whole fucking movie. And he's making more fucking jokes. I was calling him
the Trey Cooper of the group.
Yeah, the Trey Cooper of the group.
I kept seeing Trey when he called on. Like, I could just picture Trey working at the TSA and shit. Like, yo, Ganja, how you doing, man? You still fucking out with that white bitch, huh?
Well, I thought he was going to be like, and the MCA Recent Hangouts every fucking... No, but like, like, dude... That the ending was okay, I guess. I wasn't a fan of it, but it's like, let's just pretend I liked it. Let's just say the ending was fucking badass, and like he got the bad guys back, and fuck yeah. And you're gonna end it off with like, TSA motherfucker, yeah, I'm awesome, yeah, I helped you, yeah. I'm like, dude, this is not a Samuel L. Jackson fucking like Snakes on a Plane thing. Like, this is a serious fucking movie, and you can't stop with the fucking jokes. Like, it's ridiculous. Like, shut the fuck up with the jokes. There's a part where she calls him after she already captured the boyfriend, and he should be worried as his best friend. Like, dude, is my fucking friend dead? Like, what's going on? And while she's talking to him all weird, pretty much making it obvious that she killed him or whatever the fuck, or has him somewhere, he's putting the phone on mute and going like, oh man, this crazy white bitch, man, she fucking nuts, man. Oh shit, fucking crazy. Anyways, mute call. All right, grab pen and paper. All right, write something down. Man, bitch, you about to say something crazy, girl. You about to say something crazy. Unmute call. What the fuck was that shit? Like, he was saying everything that he was doing physically with his mouth.
I think that was it got explained to me was he was supposed to represent the audience. like you witnessing this, and he's supposed to be the guy on screen reacting to that. But that doesn't really hold weight because he has a actual effect on the storyline and the ending of the film. If he was just one of those observational characters, he wouldn't have such a, I guess, a main focus with the ending. And my problem is with the ending, they build this whole thing of like, all right, the sunken place, basically, from my guy, it's one of those places that once you're in there, it just lowers your humanity and tries to take away your own personal self, so they can replace you with the whoever white person brain they're going to take your brain out with. It's basically trying to make you as much of an empty vessel as possible, so when they switch your brain, Johnny can have your body right away. And my thing is, like, I felt like when he went to the sunken place, I think it was like the second time or the first time, that he was kind of trying to lose his, they were trying to make him lose his manly a little bit to make him an empty shell. And I felt like that was touched upon in the brutal end act scene where he just goes crazy. He just kills these people in most brutal, violent ways to the point that it makes sense that this is somebody that's had his life fucked with it. He had his mind fucked with to an extent. And he's just somebody that's had it and he's taking it out on the people that abused him. But the thing is, it gets to that point, and then we get to the end of the scene with his white girlfriend, and they cop all that out for let's make him the hero at the end of this storyline.
Yeah.
And I think it would have been a lot better with the alternative ending, because it would have made him a hero, but it would have showed him that the system is so placed against him that even when he does the right thing, he's still going to look like the bad guy at the end.
Yeah, and Allie, I'm going to ask you really quick, too, because I know you disagree with that statement, because we talked about this a little bit last night. But, like, as far as that ending, why do you feel like the original one was better? Or did you feel
because, well, I just feel like it would be a cop-out. Cop-out.
I approve.
No, like, it would have been too much, like, on the nose. Like, yeah, okay, if the cops showed up, like, it's kind of obvious. I felt like the anticipation of, like, oh, crap. Like, at least for me, when I first saw that cop car, I was like, oh no. Like, I didn't have like oh yes, the cops are here, this is great. No, I felt like, oh my god, this dude's about to get shot. Yeah. Like, so when I found out it was actually his friend, I was like, okay, yeah, all right, like, it's satisfying. Like, okay, he got out of that situation. So I like the more happy ending that he made it through everything. He didn't just die. I feel like that would have been kind of a downer. So it was satisfying.
See, you say that it was a cop-out ending with his friend coming. I felt like that was a lot more cop-out ending, where like, all right, let's do the actual Hollywood ending where a random hero comes and saves the day for the guy that's in the troubles. Yeah. Like, I felt it was more Hollywood.
I can see where you're coming from. But, I mean, hey, it's kind of, I guess you want it to be more marketable for the public.
Sure.
So having that ending, I think, is a lot more like, okay, well, since it left on a good note, then people would be like, oh yeah, this is great. Like, they come out of it feeling happy in a way, or like, okay, that was really, awesome. I want to, recommend this to my friends, all these people. Otherwise, if it was just the other ending, it's like, well, that was a downer. I'm not going to recommend this to people. Like, yes. Yeah, so.
No, and I get that too. I understand
and that. And Jet's mentioning it in the chat on YouTube. Like, that movie is dark as fuck at points, and when you really start thinking about it, by the end, you really want some level of hope. Like, if that ends with him being shot by, what I would have done, like, honestly, I would have had the original cop show up if it wasn't going to be his friend. I would have had the original cop that stopped him show up. He's like, oh, fuck, I'm dead, and then have that guy save him. But regardless, you have his friend.
Very Joyner Lucasy, in my opinion, though. Like,
yeah,
and you have the guy going. You have this friend going the entire movie, showing that he cares enough to investigate and find out more and keep pushing and pushing to do something. To end it with him saving him just makes sense at that point. You're like, nobody else should save him. It should be the friend. And it works. Like,
yeah,
I like it because I don't want to end this thing on and another black man gets shot by a cop.
Yeah, and one thing too that like, and I know, like, I've been shitting on this movie. There's a couple things, like, and we'll get to that are good. But one thing, like, you guys brought up a lot of situations of, like, like, the whole situation is, kind of realistic. Like, you guys been through this a lot. Like, Ganja, you brought up that you've been through this a lot too. But then there's situations too where it's like, okay, I understand weird, awkward dialogue and like little racist overtones and how they talk to each other. But then this shit, I mean, I don't think you've ever been in a situation where another Indian dude runs up to you and then runs away. And then it's like, wait, where did he go?
Hey,
why is she looking
at me? Cocaine's one hell of a drug, bro. You don't know what happens on the reservation.
Out of there. You know what I mean? But it's like
I see red crackheads do amazing things, brother.
Yeah, I was gonna say, where's that scene in Wind River that they did that? Come on.
You know, and then like on top of this, to go back to this dude over here again, so there is a scene where basically she calls his best friend, and she's basically like, you know, you want to fuck me, blah blah, all this shit, right? And I was actually like, oh shit, this got interesting. Because the one thing that I really hate about this character a lot too is that I actually would have preferred if the best friend got with the girlfriend, because he had way much more chemistry with her than this fucking dude did. When he's talking to his girlfriend, I'm like, in order to get this whole idea of like, you know what, I'll deal with your racism, I'll deal with your crazy ass family because I love you so much. You got to make sure to show me that, you know what, your bond is strong enough that you'll put up with that shit. That you know, whether, I mean, show her really naked and focus on her ass, or show her money, or show how funny she is, something. Same with him. Just show something that's just like, it makes sense that you guys should be together. They have no chemistry. So honestly, like, as soon as when the weird shit starts happening, I know that bitch is not worth it. That woman is not worth any of this shit. Right. You know what I mean? Like, even just one Obama fucking comment, I would have left. You know?
Well, that's the thing. Like, I agree with you. Like, they don't show him really as a couple. So the reason why he's going out his way to stay in this situation, even though it's clearly dangerous for him, it never felt genuine to me. Like, for example, like if they would have had a few more bonding moments rather than just the one kiss in the bedroom, and then a few little quick dialogue conversations here and there, I would have felt like their relationship was real, and I got why he was trying so hard to deny all these obvious overtones that something's wrong, because then you got the excuse of, well, he loves somebody of a different culture, so he's probably going to excuse all this stuff anyways because he loves this woman. I never got that vibe from them as a couple.
Yeah.
So,
it's clear that she's a actual sexual predator.
Got a good point.
I mean that in the movie predator sense. So it felt like she does whatever's necessary to hook that person. And for him, he's trying to fill that void of not having his mom. And so he's also very emotionally distant. So she acts like him, and that's what he likes about her. And the friend, she easily picked up on that, like, he is a different type. And so now she's calling out whatever sexual thoughts he's had about him, and that's going to make, you know, keep him in the position she wants him in. And so, like, for me, that's always what it was. It was like, it's not so much that they need to be shown as a loving couple. It's that she needs to show that they need to show her as being almost a mirror, despite having a better family life. And so that's what brings him in, because that's essentially what he's dealing with. He's going this whole movie like, I should get rid of this girl, but she's got a good family, and I could have like a family that gives a shit, and she's a little emotionally distant, and I can work with that because I understand it. It was a lot of him rationalizing stuff, and it's just like, yeah, bro, but you gotta stop, man. Like, you gotta stop. Like, if I'm his friend, I would have found a way to get her the fuck out of the situation a long time before he met her parents. Like, that was just, I wasn't with it.
But by the way, Gabriel from Argentina, by the way, like, that's awesome that someone from Argentina is actually watching this. But yeah, welcome. Hopefully we don't piss you off with Get Out, you know, and us talking about it. But like, yeah, just to wrap it all up though, man. Like I said, this movie, there was so many things that I was like, oh, I'm curious what this is going to be. I'm curious what that's going to be. And the one thing that, and it's like, it really did fall on the right time. Just like I feel like Black Panther's going to do. Just like I feel like a lot of other movies did, like Avatar, things like that. It just fell in the perfect fucking time. Because even going back, because Double Toast just did their top 10 best movies of the year, and Get Out was on 2 different lists of being the best fucking movie of the year. And for one, that's kind of crazy, you know, because this came out, what, in February, I believe? So it's like...
Yep.
Yeah, so like, you know, this is a movie that they made up in their head, like, no, I fucking love this movie. This is like my number one. I'm gonna watch this 4 or 5 times. I fucking love this movie. Even Goodwin, I think I think he said he watched it 7 times. So it's like, holy shit, you know. But that mind was already made up that they're gonna love this movie, because as soon as they watched it, like, they had that opinion, which is cool. I like that. But that trailer, they laughed at. Everybody laughed at. No one took this movie seriously. It was as ridiculous as Swiss Army Man, you know. I mean, there was so many parts in the trailer that people laughed towards, not with, or whatever the fuck. And then people are confused that we call this a comedy. Watch that trailer. It's so a comedy. There's a barely hint of fucking horror in that trailer. Like,
yeah, that trailer looks like an acid trip with it looking like, or a sketch from Key and Peele. Like, that first trailer was not done well.
Yeah,
They did not tell you what you were going to go see.
No, very true. And it's like, and the reason why I'm bringing up the trailer, because the movie's not like the trailer, and this is one of the situations where it's like, okay, Nick, like, just like the Black Panther and Spider-Man Homecoming and all that shit, Nick, like, you know, the trailer's not the movie, you know what I mean? And it's like, okay, so I'm watching the movie, and I'm trying to take it seriously, especially if the music was kind of creepy in the background. Yeah, like that. How do you not laugh at that? Like, that was the funniest shit I saw in the whole.
I laughed my ass off. I know you're supposed to be a scary movie, but I laughed my ass off.
Yeah, and then the best friend literally telling jokes, and then
Hold on, I laughed my ass off. Let me explain myself. The reason I laughed my ass off because I kind of put myself in that dude's situation of just having this random dude just come running up right past,
and then it just turns.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Chris,
I honestly would probably react the same way and just let it slide, like. Well, he didn't stab me, so that happened.
And meanwhile, Chris just stands there. His stupid deer kind of headlights fucking look like never emoting.
I would have done the same, though, Nick. Like, honestly,
no, who stands there when someone's running
ran
towards
full
you?
speed in front of you, and then right before he crashes into you, just touch the corner, he's gone into the forest.
No, like, this is the thing. I'm going to show it one more time, but here he is. He's just looking. And this is a long-ass scene. And he's just looking, and he's running from a far-ass place. Just looking. Not giving a fuck.
I would have done the same. I was probably me right there back in the house smoking a joint, but like, what the fuck?
Like, even this shit. It's like the thumbnail. There's 3 different thumbnails that all these trailers and all these things use, even for the Golden Globes, things like that. They all use the exact same thing of him sitting down in his chair. And you know what, dude? That's literally what I feel about his fucking acting performance and anything. He's just fucking couch potatoing that shit. Just sitting down, doing fucking nothing. In the Black Mirror, he's riding a bike for a fucking 45 minutes, riding an exercise bike. I'm watching a motherfucker exercise for fucking an hour. Like, and I know I'm getting loud and everything, but I'm really fucking mad because this fucking dude sucks. And it's like, I'm gonna keep seeing him. I'm going to see him all over the fucking place because everyone likes him. The guy who doesn't speak. Like, I mean, he says 2 words per fucking sentence, and that's it. It's terrible. And he's making a shit ton of money, and the movie, you know, it's just, Yeah, this movie, I'm sorry, but it's an avoided. I'm not going to say fuck it. It's close. It's so close to a fuck it.
Right.
But the reason why is, and like you were going to probably bring it up soon, too, is the death scenes when he was fucking up the family. It was pretty cool. Yeah.
Dude, he straight curb stomps the brother of the house. I wish they showed it. That dude turned into the Punisher at the last like 20 minutes of that house scene where he's just going around the house just fucking up everyone's day.
Yeah, man. And I mean, I thought that shit was pretty cool. But like with the metaphors, with everything going on, like Ganja, what would you rate this movie?
I give it a rent or a streaming, honestly. I'm not going to say avoid it or as a fuck you. Honestly, it's a horror movie, so it's supposed to have a lot of those boring scenes to give you hype and build tension. So when something does happen, it gives you a jump scare or it gives you a nice moment of like, oh my God, I can't believe that happened. But a lot of it felt very slow paced for this unnecessary. Like, I felt like it was slow paced just to get like a lot of these metaphors around it. So you kind of get it more, and I felt like that kind of slowed down the movie a lot because it was just so overt in my face that I kind of just couldn't get what the story was trying to tell me, because I felt more like like, okay, well, this is bad, or this is why this is bad, and I kind of hip to a lot of the metaphors they were getting at, and it you know, for somebody like you, Nick, that didn't get understand, I get how that could be interesting and I could keep the film going. But if you're already into it and you know a lot about the metaphors and have some of these experiences, it just kind of just goes under the wayside and you just kind of let it slide and just want to see the movie for what it is. But the parts that were interesting, like when they went to the sunken place, when they went into like the whole idea of his mom dying and why him and his relationship actually makes a little sense towards the middle of the movie, and they use that against him as a advantage to put him in the sunken place later on. I thought that was well interesting because it shows that it's going to use they use his own personal trauma against him as well as the other stuff. And some of the metaphors were done properly. Like I like the slave auction they did with the bingo thing at the end. Even though that was a little on the nose, but I thought that was very well shot and well done to symbolize what this kind of looks like for a modern audience. But the ending scene really threw me off because I kind of wanted that dark ending, Rufus. I know a lot of people didn't want that and wanted that hope, but I feel like the movie was building up to so much of like, oh, well, we're not going to be your best expectations about these people and about white liberal society. So the best way to end it would show you how the cops are going to look over at this white person, this white girl over a black male in this situation where he's acting the victim. And I thought that made sense with a lot of the metaphors and just the whole situation he's being put on as a final boiling point for this film. And honestly, besides that, I felt like it was kind of a cop-out having his friends see him at the end. I felt like that was kind of like, I think if I'm not wrong, they actually do that because the screeners really approved that ending, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that kind of shows that they were really trying to get like a more major mainstream appeal, and usually those Hollywood enders do that. I felt it kind of threw me out the film, and I wanted more of a real ground to earth one with the cop possibly arresting him, or maybe what Ruthless said, it comes around to the cop actually knows what's going on and tries to save his ass, which that would have been 10 times more unexpected for how they were setting up the rules and the situations of this dude was going through. But again, this kind of goes to how I feel personally. I felt like he kind of should have killed his girlfriend.
Oh yeah.
I felt like
she
that
did
was
die, but he didn't.
She did die. I felt like it should have been by his hands because he went on this brilliant killing spree, basically giving justice to a whole family that has abused him and his people in a larger sense, because he learns how many other black people have been taken into the sunken place, and it seems like they're only hunting black people. And I feel like that was kind of a cop out to give him like this, like, I'm better than you. And I did talk to this one person who did see the film, and they kind of explained to me it's symbolized in the beginning when he sees the deer and he feels bad for it and he wants to call help for it, and the girlfriend's more like, fuck it, let's go get out of here. And it shows that he has more compassion than she does, and that's what it's going back to. But I felt it was more like just to make him a hero at the end. That was the one, the eyes for the photography. I thought that was actually a right way to, like, because it makes sense for him to be there. Like, they weren't hunting these people for no reason, and then it was a good way to pull it back to the slavery metaphor, where a lot of black people were sold and auctioned off for their abilities and skills at higher prices to white country folk. So it was going back to the racism and going back into the history that they're trying to present on screen. But like I said, my thing with movies, I want to be entertained, even if it's a slow pace of film. It was entertaining with the dialogue or the substance going, and I felt a lot of the stuff fell flat. So like I said, I rented or stream it. What do you think, Nick?
Oh no, like definitely. What'd you say, Ruthless?
I said that's why I hate Phantom Thread.
Oh man, I want to watch that, but god damn it, dude, I'm scared.
I want to watch it too.
I know you will hate that movie. I just have a feeling.
Oh, I know he will hate it. I know it.
Yeah.
It'll be glorious. I just love watching movies and Nick just freaks out over like how terrible he thinks it is.
Florida Project was one of the best. Like, not because it was a great movie, but the ending. Just listening to this motherfucker react to the ending.
Oh
it made it better.
He goes from like 1 to freaking 100, which like he's like, oh yeah, I really like Florida Project, but man, that ending, I can't stand that freaking ending. Like, God, I'm like, what the heck? Like, no, calm down.
He was breaking down when we were watching. It's like, no, don't, man, Gonzo, don't you tell me.
We all cheered at the end when that happened. We were like, yes.
Oh,
he's like, don't you dare make this.
What Marcus is doing. He's watching Mother.
No!
Oh yes, we can watch Mother. That's what I want to do, man.
I do not want to watch that fucking movie.
I want to hear you rage about Mother, bro.
We gotta do it.
Fucking metaphor of the fucking movie. No, fuck that.
We have to. This needs to happen.
Jesus Christ, man. And I bet it's going to get a fucking award, too. Fucking, what was it, A24? Justin?
Oh no. And Mother is not going to get anything this year.
No.
So.
Oh, I would hope not. Man, Justin, I really hope you're right, dude.
It's way too divisive.
But, yeah, man. But, no, like I said, avoid it from me. And, you know what? Here's the thing, too. Another reason why it's not fucking as well is because I will say this is the only fucking movie that's happened where I don't like it, where I watched it a second time and it was better. Like, I know I make fun of Julian. I'm sorry, Julian. I always make fun of you with the Blade Runner thing. Like, oh, watch it until you like it, dude. But, like, with this movie, actually, if you watch it again, just give it another chance. If you don't like it, maybe you'll like it the second try. Because I didn't catch a lot of shit. You guys are saying that it was easy to catch certain things. And maybe it's just the I've never been in this situation before. So, I don't know.
I just want to point out a highlight. I know we're doing it, but this is the one little highlight I want to point out about the film before we go. Y'all, I love how he hits a deer, quote unquote, but they threw like this little puppet or a fucking like half squirrel in front of the car, because all I saw was the car hit this like little animal and go flying into the woods, and somehow when he goes in the woods, it's a fucking deer.
Yeah, that shit. And the movie starts off with that, so it's kind of like, oh fuck, here we go.
Like, I asked Nick to rewind it.
He didn't have a lot of money. They had to skip it to places. So the stuffed animal version of a deer.
I know, Ruthless, but he didn't even get the same size of a deer, though. He got like this little stuffed animal.
That was clearly a stuffed animal. Like, yeah.
Yeah, when the movie starts off and it's like, because I remember we talked about this on the MCA, where it's like, hey man, it's funny how the Oscars think it's a fucking comedy, right? Those guys are fucking morons. And we started the movie off laughing. Like, that's not a good sign for your
We
movie,
were
though.
supposed to laugh at that scene, and we just noticed that it was a
That
stuffed
was not
animal.
intentionally funny.
Yeah, we just noticed it was a stuffed animal. We started laughing.
Yeah, I'm sorry. It's you know, like, I don't
They
know.
stole a Bambi stuffed animal from Disney World and decided to toss it in the fucking car.
He should have kept it realistic and had like a squirrel or a raccoon when he discovered the animal.
You know what's funny too is like the thing is it made that loud ass because the sound effects was good. It was like, but it's like it's such a small little animal. It's like how heavy is it?
No, if you, I ain't gonna lie, I rewinded it last night before I went to bed, Nick, just so I could make sure I wasn't just like trying to bash the movie for no reason at all, or I just my mind made that up. But like when you look at it, it's the size of a fucking house cat. But the thump from the thing sounds like a fucking brick hit the hood.
Yeah, like an anvil was on the fucking hood, like.
And you see the best part, if you slow it down, you see that bitch slide across the fucking window. It doesn't even hit the hood.
I love that shit. By the way, in Nita 2.0, I'm just saying in the end, all of Chris's proof of him being innocent ends up burning. Oh, like seriously?
Yeah, because remember the house is on fire.
Oh shit, you're right. Yeah. You know, and by the way, too, like I hate that we don't get to see what else happens with the rest of the slaves. We don't see what else happens with the white crazy family. Like, there's a lot of things. Like, honestly, I do want part 2. I want Get Out.
Yeah, what are you talking about? The white crazy family? I'm pretty sure he killed them all.
No, I mean the
Get out
crazy.
again.
No, I'm talking about like the rest, like that 550,000 people that fucking came over.
Oh, you're talking about the people that. See, that's the one thing that me and the other person were talking about, and I even brought up to 90s. They don't really touch on the other people that are taking advantage of the situation. But from what they were telling me, it's not about the overall picture. It's about these people that are actively taking part of this in this slavery business, and how that it's the community that allowed it to thrive and become what it was.
Okay, yeah. So
and that's why they don't go after everybody. Yeah.
So you know.
Yeah. So I don't know, but
it's like killing the master vampire, Nick. When you kill the master, all the rest of them.
No.
That is a great terminology for this movie as well.
Oh, fucking Penny Dreadful all over again. Which, by the way, another thing that ended badly because I loved Penny Dreadful. Me and Allie had a great time watching that fucking thing.
I want to watch it again, man. Like
that ending was some bullshit. You know that ending was some bullshit.
It was. Oh,
God Lord, man. Fuck that ending. But anyways, Ruthless, I'm gonna ask you since we're doing Flex with Joe, man. Is there any shows that you've been watching or movies that you've been watching that you want to bring up real quick?
Well, I told you guys about She's Gotta Have It, the Netflix series. Because I watched that immediately. I just actually watched Tom Segura's brand new special that came out yesterday, Disgraceful, and it is fucking hilarious. If you've got a rating above, buy it. Like, I know it's on a stream. Dude, I know it's on Netflix, but damn it, that shit is fucking funny. And having come off of a great Dave Chappelle set of specials, like to get another comedian that I like Tom Segura, but like I didn't keep up with him as much as I've kept up with other comedians, and to kind of get reintroduced to him with this special and the one right before it, Mostly Stories, it's fucking hilarious. He also talks about some of the weird shit that happens because he's biracial, he's white and Spanish, and his mom from Peru, I want to say, but he's grown up speaking Spanish his entire life. And so he's like, yeah, people react to me weirdly when they hear me speak Spanish because they don't, know stuff. He makes fun of fucking the Cajun people in Louisiana who talk like they have marbles in their mouth and mumbling at the same time. Like, he's got really good stuff in there. I was really happy about it. His wife is also hilarious. I've heard her once before doing a live show. And so it's really cool to see him do another really good special. I definitely say go watch it. It's like I said, it's amazingly funny. Like, seriously, I would watch it again right now, and I just watched it yesterday. Like that's how funny that shit was.
But yeah, no, I might have to shut that out. I actually been in the mood to watch some kind of stand-up comedy. But Justin, actually, I ask you, man, anything you've been watching that you want to talk about? Flex, chill, sir.
Oh well, I am literally just finishing Uncharted 4 right now, so I guess it's a pixel thing. But
oh yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean that game is great, even though it's super long. I mean, and I know Allie and I were talking about like 2, maybe. I don't know if it's longer or not. This one, it just feels long because it feels like so much happened. Like there's a point where I thought the end of the game, and then the epilogue started playing. I'm like, oh, there's a freaking epilogue.
Yeah.
But otherwise, I haven't seen this yet, but I'm going to promote. If you haven't seen the first Paddington movie on Netflix, go watch it. That movie is fantastic, so good. Legitimately one of the best family-friendly films to come out in like the last few years.
Yeah, I actually really want to watch this because Double Toasted actually really sold me on the second movie. So I actually want to see this just to see like why was there any excitement for this like leading up to it? You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, and the thing about it is what makes it so good is that mostly the stuff they said about Paddington 2, it's kind of the same movie in that sense that the trailers don't sell very well, but it's actually fairly clever. Like, it's very Wallace and Gromit. It's got a lot of like adult humor masquerading as friendly fare. Like not sexual, not dirty, just stuff that more adult, grown-up people would appreciate.
Right.
It's great performances. The guy who plays Paddington is the guy who plays Q on the new Bond movies, Ben Whishaw, and he's like the right perfect voice for like a guy who's just so sweet that you just couldn't get mad at him even if he destroys your bathroom the way he does like this. It's like he'll do that and then he'll go to you. He's like, I'm terribly sorry. I really didn't mean to do that. And you're just like, oh. But it's just fun. It's sweet. It's cute. It's really, really funny. Like, surprisingly, I think adults will laugh at this movie more than kids. But I kind of. So,
no, yeah, I love that scene, by the way, that we just showed up here, too. Like, this dude's just, like, constantly fucking everything up. Like, honestly, yeah, this looks like fun, man.
Oh, yeah. And then freaking Hugh Bonneville from Downton Abbey. If you didn't care for Downton Abbey but wanted to see that guy and other stuff, he's great in this. He's really funny. So, yeah, go buy it. It's, watch it on Netflix, go buy it, whatever. It's totally worth it, and it makes me really excited to see.
From what people are saying inside the YouTube chat right now, I don't know about the DT chat because I haven't checked it yet, but we might actually check it out, the first Paddington inside of the After Hours if you guys want, because it seems like some people have actually put this on the list to watch, like next to Shaun the Sheep. And if it's that quality of Shaun the Sheep, because I actually really enjoyed that kind of British humor, I think it would probably be enjoyable. And if you guys want to watch the After Hours, just let me know when we start up the rabbit later on.
Oh yeah,
I actually like it better than Shaun the Sheep personally, but that's just me.
Yeah, but Allie, I'm gonna ask you really quick. Like anything you've been watching on TV, Netflix, anything like that?
Oh yes, I've got a few.
Go ahead.
So I just finished this show called The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel. It is on Amazon, and it just won the Golden Globe for Best Comedy. It won something else too. It might have been Best Actress.
Best Actress, yes.
Yes, she is. Oh my God, she is so funny. Her comedic timing is like impeccable, and like I'm just kind of jealous because she's just absolutely gorgeous. Like she's got everything, like even her frame and everything is just like so perfect. And then also she's just like really good acting wise and like is amazing with comedy. But no, this is a great show. Like it's really funny. It takes place during the 50s. And this woman, she it's a very much a known thing, like in the show, she's like, I am Jewish, like you will know right off the bat she's Jewish. But no, she's married to this guy.
Does she have bagels?
Well, pastrami. She's married to this guy, and the marriage is going well. They have 2 kids. She has basically like the perfect American dream type of like life that she has. She lives in Upper East Side, Manhattan, got a great apartment, like 5 freaking rooms, like seriously, a mansion of an apartment. And her husband actually, like, she started going to these comedy clubs, or not comedy clubs, but this like hole in the wall type of things where people can perform, and her husband wants to become a comic. But he's terrible, and he's stealing actually someone else's act. But she just goes along because she's very supportive. He's like, it's okay. And then she finds out that her husband is cheating on her with his secretary, and he decides after he had like a terrible night at this, doing a stand-up, he decides just to leave. And so, that kind of like her life is just kind of in shambles.
So,
what?
I hate to interrupt. So, is this the story of my ex-wife?
But no, like she's just like, oh man, this is ridiculous. Like she starts drinking. She just decides to go back to that club and just gets up on stage, and she just like goes to stand up. She does it completely improv, and she's absolutely hilarious. And this woman who's in charge of the club, who's kind of almost like a, she's well known kind of for like seeing these great comics and getting them gigs and stuff like that. And she sees her and she's like, man, you are amazing. Like I really would love to work with you. And she's kind of like, I don't know, because this is the 50s. Women are basically supposed to stay at home, take care of the kids, cook, clean. They're not really out there doing stand-up comedy like men are. So it's not exactly smiled upon. So it's just like showing her, going out and doing this comedy, and it's just like, it's so freaking, y'all just need to watch it. Like, at first I didn't know I was gonna watch it. I mean, if I was gonna like it, but man, the comedy is actually genuinely really good. Like, all of her stand-up comedy, like when she's on fire, I'm like, dang, this is like, I'm laughing. I'm genuinely laughing. So it's just like a whole entire show of just like you laughing. Like, even when she's not doing stand-up comedy, like her interaction with her parents. One of them is Tony Shalhoub from Monk, and he's really funny.
Shit.
Yeah, he's really good in this too. So yeah, people, I'm telling you, you guys, seriously, this is just one of the most underrated, like under the radar shows that's come out from this last year. So if you guys got some time, I mean, it's really entertaining. I would definitely check it out.
Yeah, what do you rate it, by the way?
Is this from the Gilmore Girls creator, by the way?
It is. I think it is. So yeah. So I wasn't the biggest fan of Gilmore Girls. I watched it when it originally was on TV, but I just never got into it. So that's why I didn't kind of feel like I didn't know if I was gonna like it. But no, this definitely surprised me. But yeah, I would definitely give this a buy it. It's a high buy it. Like, yeah, if I could.
Yeah,
Nick, I gotta slip one thing back in.
Oh, what's up?
Okay, so the other day I was on Amazon, just watching some Amazon videos. I got Prime, so I get a free video and everything. And I was done watching Grand Tour, which is a great show. Please watch the fellas on Grand Tour; it's great shit. And I was like, oh, it says because you like stand-up comedy, check out Sidney Davis Jr. Wasted Potential. Stand-up special came out in 2017. Huh, that seems like a really short running time, 22 minutes. That's really short. So I start watching this, supposed to be a stand-up special. And it opens with a little skit. I'm like, oh, cool, that's a funny skit of her at the therapist who doesn't really like her, and she's kind of a dick to him there, and he's kind of a dick back. I'm like, all right, cool, that's whatever. It was like 5 minutes. And then it kept going. 10.5 minutes of a 22-minute long total special was this skit. And it is the worst stand-up following this skit that I have ever watched in my entire life. I have seen amateur comedians for their first time doing comedy in more than just Los Angeles and Kansas City, and they are better than this woman's comedy. This is the shittiest set of jokes I have ever heard. And I've heard a lot of jokes, people.
What is it that makes them bad? Like, what is it that makes it so terrible?
Her delivery is horrible.
Okay.
Her
she looks like it. She's like, huh? Am I right? Like, she looks like she's in the middle of an.
Yeah, she does a lot of the am I right stuff.
No.
Yeah, she does a lot of the like get the crowd to laugh for me, by like giving them a cue at the beginning of the stand up section after the 15-minute long skits section. She's like, all right, now when I point like this, I want you to go crazy and go wild as you can. And so she's like, we're gonna test it out real quick. And then she does it and they do it. And then multiple times, not once, but 3 separate times, she does the finger guns point to get the crowd to laugh for her. And they are not laughing. She is bombing through this entire special. And it's only, again, it's like 10 minutes of stand-up and 12 minutes of a skit on both sides. Like there's a little mini like greeting the crowd thing afterwards, and like I said, that 10+ minute long opening, it's horrible.
Oh God! Oh, I just saw it. That's bad. That was some shit.
Yeah, it's horrible. I say this having watched so much more stand up than I've watched in the movies. This is the worst special I have ever seen. I don't know how she got this on Amazon. I don't know how she got an Amazon special.
Man,
so Rufus, are you telling me I need to get off my lazy ass and start writing jokes?
Bro, like I'm telling people who aren't comedians they need to get off their ass and start writing jokes. If this is what I have to do, like, this is the worst. Yes, YouTube chat, this is worse than Amy Schumer. This is literally the worst comedy I have ever heard.
Okay, is it better or worse than my puns on this thing? Like
worse. I will take you could do 10 minutes of your puns and I would laugh.
No, you can't, motherfucker.
Yes, I will. Nick, you didn't sit through this shit. I was 5 minutes in, I was like, man, how long is this special? Oh, because I'm thinking, like, I must have been watching for 30 minutes. It's only 22 minutes long. I had only been watching 5 minutes of her stand-up. It was that bad. It's that bad.
Now,
And the crowd knows it's that bad. They are barely laughing the entire time.
No,
He's literally bombing.
Nothing's worse than a bad audience. Like when the audience is not liking it, not enjoying it. That's just the most uncomfortable feeling in the world.
They laugh the loudest when she does the finger guns points at both times because they know, like, yo, I'm supposed to laugh at this.
Yeah, that is rough. I've had similar situations with Patton Oswalt's stand-up. Like, there's times where he makes a joke. Like, he did this one thing. I know we're getting on for tangent, but there's this one thing that I would always fucking remember about Patton Oswalt that I will never watch this shit again. There was a part where he's making jokes about his character in King of Queens, like how he doesn't like how NBC or whoever the fuck does the show. They're like, hey man, don't say really awful stuff. Do your bits, but say like PG words. So he was like, hey, I would like to squeeze my dingle-wink and then shoot out like hot, creamy, gooey goo-goo. And then
he's like, I'm gonna shoot out my goof juice. Yeah, I remember that.
Goof juice, yeah. And he's fat. I'm not trying to like talk shit about fat people, but like he's fat. And he's holding his junk, and he's like doing a jacking off thing, like he's holding his dick in his hand, and he's making his like orgasm face, and the crowd's dead as fuck. The crowd is not laughing, and he's doing this, and it's the most disgusting. My fingers, dude, was like cringing. Like I just started like chomping on my own skin, like just oh god, fuck it. Like it was the worst shit I've ever seen in my life.
That was funnier than this entire special.
See, gross out jokes aren't funny just because they're gross.
Exactly. It's fucking. It's
all right. Since we're bashing comedians, I want to get on board, man. Fuck Jimmy Fallon, bro. I hate this motherfucker with every fiber of my being. Ruthless. I'll let you know right now. If I ever get famous, I hope I book a Jimmy Fallon show because I'm just gonna go on there to roast him and get kicked off by security. That would be my goal. I hate him. He does these stupid, like, fucking kindergarten style jokes, and then he laughs at every one of his punchlines, so the audience gets his time laugh. I fucking hate Jimmy Fallon, dude. You know, and he ruined SNL for a good 2 years too. I never forgot that shit.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna jump on that bandwagon too. After watching the Golden Globes this weekend, screw Seth Meyers too.
Man, Seth Meyers is a terrible host.
He is not funny. He is not clever. He has horrible timing. I texted one of my friends, one of the guys I do my new podcast with. I'm just like, God, I didn't know that white bread could be made into human form. He's just that.
Oh, wow.
When white people are texting other white people, how white is this dude? There's a problem.
And it's funny because like he's trying to make a big thing like, oh, we're going to talk about all the sexual harassment and we're going to make jokes about that. And you know, technical, difficult jokes. It's one thing to be funny too, and you're not funny. It's just
you have to be funny first.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, should have gone Conan.
Yeah, there you go.
Who else
Conan,
would we slam
I would
now?
be very respectful on Conan.
Yeah, but one thing that I want to bring up really quick because we are going to be ending soon. But Allie, there's a show that I want to watch, and I might not have you review that particular one because I know you have a couple more to go. But really quick, do you think that this movie, End of the Fucking World, which, by the way, I like that you're going to review this because the title of it's a cuss word. I'm like, yes, do I get to hear Allie say fucking for once? Like, this is great.
Yeah, I finished this.
Yeah, do you feel like we should review this next week and, you know, like, actually, like, us watch this as an MCA crew?
Oh, I mean, we could do that. That's fine.
Okay,
you know,
cool.
whatever, it's up to you.
Yeah, so we'll save this for next week because I actually really want to watch this. You know, like I'm sorry, I'm an idiot, but like the title with the cussing in it, like, probably won't be over. I'm not gonna lie.
I hear it's great. So.
Yeah. So, but the thing is, there's another movie that you want to review. Actually, what's the name of that, really quick?
Yeah. So Heathers, I've never watched Heathers, so I know it's an oldie. Yeah, it's super. And then also I heard they're freaking making a remake of it. I'm like, really, really.
No.
It looks terrible. But this movie, I was like, I didn't know what I was expecting, but it's something different than I thought. But I actually really liked this. You know, there was just parts where it was just funny. Like, I was just like, the way things just unraveled, I was just like, whoa, oh my God, like, what is happening? And it just goes, it just goes off the walls crazy towards the end too. But if you don't know, I mean, it's about, it's a high school you know, film about this clique, and literally all the girls are named Heather except for Winona Ryder's character, her name is Veronica. And the main Heather girl, she is just like a bitch to everyone at the school. Everyone hates her. She divides everyone. She makes fun of them, gets them like just horrible person. But and you know, Winona Ryder's like, yeah, I want to get rid of this girl. Like, this girl's just causing problems for everyone at the school. And I think like everyone would be better off if she's just gone. And so she meets Christian Slater and they have a thing. And he's like, hey, you know, we should totally like poison her. And that wasn't technically her intention at first, but she just kind of went along with it, and they ended up killing her. That's like the whole premise. And so they're covering up, acting like it's a suicide, and it just goes crazy from there. And yeah, man, it's really enjoyable. Like, I was just really entertained watching this. Like, Christian Slater is doing his freaking, like, I think he was trying to do like a Jack Nicholson thing. Like, he just went crazy.
No, that's just Christian Slater. He is Jack Nicholson.
But I think he actually said in an interview, like, yeah, I was trying to do like a Jack Nicholson thing, and I was like, yeah, you're definitely like the Joker, really. But no, this is it's weird, but I just loved how crazy it just got. So if you are kind of in like that mood to watch an 80s film and, you know, kind of teen stuff, like, this is a good watch.
Yeah, man. And what would you rate, by the way, too, just out of this?
I would give it a buy it. Yeah, I mean, it's on Netflix, so, you know.
Yeah.
Attack it. I like that idea. The attack it's the one about buy it. Attack it. Get that shit. Seriously. Like, that is just a classic. I love that fucking movie.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's great. I kind of want to watch it again. It was really good.
Yeah, man, but yeah, I don't know if I can get into this, especially with that nice like early 1990s hue on the fucking quality of the video.
It's still an 80s movie too.
Oh, it's 80s?
It's 89.
It's an 80 movie.
I just realized I watched this movie, bro.
Oh,
it's so 80s too, like the music, the fashion, the way everything's shot. It's so 80s.
My favorite is the ending scene where he kills like 2 people and it's just unnoticed. Towards the end of the movie, everything's just cool.
I know, right? You think he would look more into it? Like, it's so funny because like even the police officers are just so incompetent. Like, they're like, oh well, this is set up like this. So I guess they just killed each other. Like, really? You're not gonna look more into that? You're not gonna like, it's so funny because like there's this point where Veronica lures these 2 guys into this forest, and her and Christian Slater are gonna, you know, they're gonna he told her, oh, we'll just tranquilize them, right? But he ended up killing them. And so that ended up being cops, like, you know, close by. So like, did you hear that? And they're like, no, it was nothing. And then heard a second one, oh, yeah, there's something going on. So they finally get out of their car to go and see what the heck's going on. And then they run away. And and so like they find them, and they're like looking around like, oh, spread out, see if you can find them, because they hear a noise. And so it's just like Winona Ryder and Christian Slater just making out in the car, and they're like, oh, it's just 2 teens making out, nothing to see here. And like, you're not gonna question that they're so close to the freaking crime scene, and you're not gonna question them? Are you?
How about the alley? How about the ending where Winona Ryder's outfit's all fucked up, covered in dirt, bloody shit? And it ends with her going, Sally, who's her name's not Sally, I don't remember the character's name, but basically the ugly girl of the school, Sally, come hang out with me. And the movie literally ends with them walking off arm by arm.
Yeah, they just walk away. I'm like, you guys aren't going to question why Winona Ryder literally looks like she's been through a war zone? Like, nothing? It's the most crazy.
This was the first movie that ever featured school shooters.
Oh,
yeah. He's a terrorist. He's a terrorist. He was going to blow up the freaking school. Like,
jeez.
Yeah.
And Allie, let's be honest though, you probably would have blew up a high score or 2 for a young Christian Slater.
No, actually, no. I didn't find him very attractive, honestly.
But Michael Fassbender, I'd blow the fuck out of my school.
Not even Fassbender anymore.
Like, who is attractive enough to
before
kill
Chloe
people?
Was a slave, though, Fassbender would have got him.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, maybe before Assassin's Creed and the Snowman, but
or him allegedly actually hitting his real wife.
Wait, you saw the Snowman, Ellie?
Man, y'all just tell me to stay away. I really want to watch it though. I really want to see how bad. But I just hear such bad things that I'm just like, yeah, there's just probably no redemption for this dude. He just had so many duds.
I love my gay son. I forgot that scene.
I love my dead gay son.
Yes. Oh my god. I was like,
let me explain. Nick, you'll love this. I know we're going off of the topic, but the movie, there's a scene. You probably will like this movie. There's a scene where they cover up the bodies by making act like they were gay and they were lovers that kill each other and quarrel. And one of the dads is, I think, a sheriff or some prominent member of the town. And everyone's at the funeral crying and shit. And Winona Ryder and Christian Slater are there as well. And the dad just busts out, "Man, I love my gay son." He starts crying.
Bro,
starts crying. He is like bawling, crying. Like, I love my dead son. I love my dead son.
Oh my god!
They cussed to Norton Ryder and Kristen Slayer just looking like.
Does it work? Like the whole premise of the movie is they are surprised any of this shit works. And Nick, you gotta watch this shit.
I'm not watching this shit.
You gotta watch this shit.
Man, it's so funny, man. Like it's such a dark comedy, but it's so freaking funny. Of like all the crap that they just get away with, and they didn't even have to try that hard. Like, all these people are just so freaking stupid. And this, oh my god,
they literally got the Riverdale PD working at that fucking.
That's what I was gonna say. Fucking Riverdale.
You're not wrong. You're like, oh my.
It's like if Betty and Archie realized, yo, instead of being like detectives, let's just kill people. They never fucking figure it out.
Oh my god, yeah, this fucking thing. Heathers, y'all, Heathers. Like, let me just show this again. Heathers.
The whole point was to make fun of all the '80s movie conventions for high school films. It does it perfectly. It is hilarious. It's dark as shit, but it's fucking hilarious.
It's like a satire film, yeah.
But the thing is, man, well, I don't know, Heathers. I can't believe she watched this shit. I don't know why she watched this shit, but she watched it.
I love Winona Ryder, her crazy freaking self. I love her. Like I saw that, I was like, yeah, I'm watching this tonight. I enjoy myself. I did not regret it.
No, BBM saying, yeah, oh, low blow to Riverdale. Yeah, we gotta be talking shit about it. Oh man, but no, people, that's gonna be that time of the night, man. We gotta end off. I am sleepy, okay? Grandpa Diaz is fucking tired. But the thing is, though, Ganja Guru, there's a couple things I think you should tell the folks because we're about to, it's around that time. So go ahead, man, do your thing.
All right, guys, we always do this at the end of every show. It's the after hours coming up. So far in the YouTube chat and as well as the DT chat, people are either asking us to watch that shitty-ass stand-up that you saw, Ruthless, and just crack on it and make fun of it. Or people want to watch a good movie called Paddleton. I think I said that wrong, but Paddleton, my bad. Which is the British Bear. I've never seen it before, but I've heard good things about it. And I heard it's about the same guys that done a lot of those animation films that come over from London. And I think it was the Walls and Gromit team. I think that did this film.
No, it's not made by them. It's in the style of them. But.
It's in the style of them. So I'm really a huge fan of a lot of their stuff. I was a fan of Chicken Run, the Walls and Gromit when they did the Shaun the Sheep. So I actually like their animation and some of their crew that works there. So hopefully it's good. So you guys let me know inside of the Rabbit when we set it up if you guys want to watch the 20-minute bullshit stand-up that Ruthless got to enjoy, or you guys want to watch Paddleton instead. Keep in mind, I think it's only 20 minutes, you said, right?
Yeah, it's like 20 minutes.
It's 20 minutes, so I think we could probably do the bad stand-up special first because honestly, it's 20 minutes for Ruthless by himself, but all of us cracking on it and just listen to the bad joke, that's just going to go by in 10 minutes. So we're going to start off with the bad stand-up, and then we're going to go into Paddleton, y'all. And just one more quick heads up and one more little plug. Make sure to check out our Facebook page so you guys give us some updates, comments, gifts, memes. Sometimes you guys hit up in the message box so you guys got some questions nice that you want to submit to the show and just let us know what you guys want to talk about. So sometimes send us an email saying you love us. Also, we also do the Untitled Video Game Show on the Facebook page. If you guys were aware of that, we did 2 shows this week on there when we, took a little break from the YouTube page and just played some video games. We played XCOM and Abby and Allie and Nick also played The Sims Busting Out the other day. So make sure to check out the Facebook page for the Untitled Video Game Show as well as other updates. Nick, you ready to end this off?
I am ready to end this off, sir. So with that said, buddy, 1 to 2 to the 3 to the attack the motherfucking show. I'm not watching Heather.
You should.
I'm not watching it. No.
Yes, you will.
Oh god, it's me off.
Do it.
Shut the fuck up.
Do it.